Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
All right, gentlemen, welcome back. We're here. It's another Wednesday. It's episode 132. We got the midweek hump back in action. Took a break last week because there's still a lot of stuff going on in my life, but I just needed I was not ready for last week. It got like to the day and we didn't have a guest, and I was like, let's just not do it this week. But I decided at the last minute to do it.
10 minutes ago, we decided we were going to do it tonight.
I almost said fuck it again because I've just been in a funk is really where it's at.
I thought the interview yesterday went pretty good.
Yeah, the interview was really good. Kristen McTiernan is a really awesome lady. One that everyone should follow.
You just came across her on Twitter, or?
I came across her a couple of years ago, actually. I've been following her for a while because she's a writer, editor, and I actually reached out to her for some possible editing services for my book. And then I started like seeing what she was tweeting and putting out there, and I'm like, oh, this lady's based. Okay, I got it. Because she's one of those ladies who's like been standing up for like kind of men's, like she's like a men's advocate, especially in the literary world. So that was a really cool thing to see. That interview was great. It's been a few months since I've done one of those interviews, so I had to shake the cobwebs off a little bit, but we got through it.
Had to pause a few times because of your internet.
Yeah, actually only once, I think.
Yeah, I only saw the one time.
Yeah, just the one time.
She was just looking around like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah. But no, it's good to be back. We'll have a good discussion tonight. I doubt we will go the usual length. But hey, you never know here. You never know. Ever. Scott is first in chat. Great to see you, Scotty. How's it going, man? Great to see you. What have you guys been up to? Brahma, what have you been doing?
Been beating the crap out of Expedition 33 in every spare moment. So I think all of my characters are at level like 95 to 96. I'm doing millions of damage per hit now. Damn. It looks completely different than what most of the people in our sphere are playing it because I've gotten so overpowered already.
Right.
But, about to jump in the new game plus. I've got one more boss to take down, and he's got multiple millions health, unlike everybody else in the game.
Okay.
So it's like a 2-phase fight where if he touches you once, you're dead.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. And then streams and work,
Nice. Parrothead's in here, says, is this episode brought to us by Ranch Favorite Bull's Milk? Maybe.
Always.
And Weasel's here lurking with PC problems. Hope everybody's, we're doing well. Sorry about your PC problems. We clear those up, man. Jesse, what have you been up to, dude?
I'm streaming, making videos, putting out videos all the time, dealing with all of my crazy 6 kids, all of that kind of fun stuff, trying to go to church. And I've got my birthday stream on Friday, May 16th. We're starting at 11 a.m. God only knows how long we're going to go. But I got a whole bunch of guests lined up. Cuddles will be there. Culture Casino for sure. He's been like all excited about it. He's been threatening to do untoward things on my stream because it's my birthday. So be afraid. Be very afraid. And so who knows? And obviously all of you guys around here are invited as well. But yeah. And then I don't know. I have no idea how long it's going to go or what we're going to do yet. But I'd imagine it's going to be interesting. And one of my guys, the stunt coordinator from Nefarious, he'll be back too. I already talked to John about that. So that'll be cool to see him again. Yeah, John's a really cool guy. He's always got great stories, dude. He's been in Hollywood for like 30 years doing like all kinds of crazy stunt coordinating and stuff like that. So he's got all kinds of really cool stories and shit. And he's like, hey, if you ever come to Dallas, I'll throw you off a building. I'm like, dope.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh, and I finally crossed 1,900 subscribers on the new YouTube channel. I'm almost at 2K. Awesome. Well, not quite almost, but I did finally cross 1,900. So yay!
Good shit. Nice job. Raiken, what have you been up to, dude?
Playing a lot of Oblivion. Then I've been doing every Thursday. I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3 with some buddies on Rumble. That's been a lot of fun. And yeah, that's about it. Played a little bit of Among Us on Friday. Hopefully we get some more of those games in, because those are always a blast.
You know what's funny about Among Us? I actually played with my son. He really he likes it / he goes through phases, you know.
Yep.
And I understand the appeal. I'm not into like the social what's it called? Social
Deception
games, yeah. But I get why people do. And I think if I understood how the game works a little bit better, maybe I would enjoy it more.
You definitely
audio just went like you went into a hallway or something.
Yeah, you sound like you're underwater.
I want to make sure that wasn't just me. I want to make sure that wasn't just me, because that was really weird. Yeah, your audio's all messed up, Shags.
That sounded better.
Oh, did it? Is it good
yeah.
now?
Yeah, now you sound normal again.
Oh, weird.
That boomer internet.
Yeah.
I mean, Among Us is fun if you have if you can get like 10 people together that you know, because like you definitely need to be like have like a group of people that you know to like for it to be fun, where you're trying to lie to people, just trying to bullshit each other.
Okay.
Because then and then add a little bit of alcohol into it, and it just a lot of like shit talking happens.
Okay.
Because then nothing actually gets done, and it's just a lot of people just screaming at each other, saying whose the liar is. But
for some reason, I'm just the big poo-poo on you when it comes to social games. I don't know why. Like I don't want to play Party Animals. I don't want to play Among Us, and I don't know why. I guess I'm an asshole.
You're antisocial. You're antisocial. You're antisocial is exactly what it is, Shags.
Well, you
just don't like to play with other people.
Well, do you like to be pinned against other people, or do you prefer like a game where you like to work with other people? Because that could be like the difference is like it's like you like more teamwork than you do where it's like
he likes
pinned against each other.
Under people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From behind usually. No, so that's the thing is like I'm competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I like highly competitive games. Like I've been playing Counter-Strike 2 again. So like for all intents and purposes, that game is like just the most rage-inducing, like it's not a social game. I mean, it's a team game.
Right.
With communication.
But it requires skill.
Right.
And playing Among Us doesn't require skill. It just requires you to be able to lie your ass off.
Right. Yeah.
Well, even then, like if I were to play with my gaming buddies, Slender Dad would just always try to get me out no matter what the evidence was. I would just be first one voted out in Slender's mind every time. I mean, like I can't play like Mario Party where it's literally just jump over. I can't play that. I can't play that one that was real big 2 years ago where you started with like 100 people and it was obstacle course stuff.
Fall Guys.
Wobbly
Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Fall Guys. Fall Guys was a lot of
things
fun.
don't appeal to me. But like Party Animals was semi fun because it did take slight amounts of skill.
See,
It's just the controls are offsetting whatever skill you might have.
Yep.
I would almost disagree with so Mario Party. I'm kind of like opposite because like Mario Party is an interesting mix of being competitive and like good, and also social. Like that's what I was playing that with my kids too and my wife, and it was like the one game that she wanted to play, and then I realized, well, this is actually kind of competitive because I mean there's a randomness to the game, but there's also like a taking the right like way on the board. Getting stars, getting coins, stealing stuff from people. And even my son understood, my 7-year-old understood like, oh, hey, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to steal that star from you and then I'm going to win. And, so I would almost
don't care for the mini games.
The mini games
strategy can be fun, but I don't care for the mini games.
Well, that's why it's an interesting balance, but the mini games can get monotonous. That's why like for me, I always have to play like the really short games. Like, I don't know how people play like the long one, like the long maps. It's just too much. But I think that I could probably get into those more, like hosting like Mario Party nights or something like that. But
we should make you play Chained Together at least once.
I have it. I have Chained Together. See, I would almost be willing to do that tonight.
And that one's crazy. I think Mad said that he might be here within the next hour.
Okay. I've always wanted to be good at getting over it. The guy in the bucket with the
sledgehammer thing.
Yeah.
Never attempted to play any of those games.
I can't figure out the physics in it. I can't figure out the spinny thing. It's so weird. What's up, everyone? Sorry, everyone's come in. There's been a lot of people who've dropped in. King Deplorables has arrived. Real Wade Nation is here as well. Hey, Shags, I've heard Nerd on a Rumbles. I've had
Nerd on.
On a Rumble show. Nice, yeah.
We watched Tron 2.
Tron 2? Tron Legacy?
No. Yeah. Watched
Nice.
Tron Legacy.
Professor Savage Dad's here as well. What's going on, man? He's going to be in my neck of the woods in the upcoming week, next couple days. Mephisto is here as well. Good to see you, Mephisto. How you doing, sir? Be talking about old school with him in a month, exactly 30 days from now. Can't wait for that. Memes of Discretion.
So much.
What's that?
I love that movie so much.
Oh, it's so good.
Old school.
So good. Yep.
You're my boy, Blue.
Oh.
Blue, you're my boy. Stop triggering people, Shags. That's what I do. What's up, Bex? Good to see you. Paul Hadouken's here as well. What's up, Paul? Great to see you, man. Great to see you.
I feel like if you're not triggering people on YouTube, you're not doing your job.
Yeah, I'd say fuck everyone.
Absolute facts.
So there's a lot of people here. So before everyone leaves, I'll just get a lot of this stuff out of the way now. There's some serious stuff to talk about because part of the reason I've been like kind of out of my mind. Been just last week was a lot. As you guys know, I was laid off from my job. Kind of sucks. So in the search for new work, I've had some luck in interviews, which has been great. It makes me question whether the job market's actually as bad as everyone says it is. Just considering how many I've actually gotten quite a few.
There was
calls.
like a surplus of jobs.
Oh,
that's what I've heard.
Well, the side of TikTok that I'm on will say otherwise usually.
Well, the world is healing. White men are allowed to work again.
Right.
Oh, shit.
But so there's going to be. I'll just rip the Band-Aid off. The show's going to end again, unfortunately, and it's completely out of my control. Not because I want it to, but because I will be unable to physically be in the right time zone for anyone in come 2 months from now. So, or 2.5 months from now. I've actually been offered a job at my previous job in Hawaii as an assistant manager. So I'm going to go back there. It's a huge, insanely, I can't express enough how difficult it is. And that's why I've been sort of beside myself. Yeah. And actually my office is in a bit of disarray because I have so much to do between now.
Yeah, moving off of the mainland is a lot different than moving on the mainland.
Yeah.
Right. And not only that, but I basically have to figure out before June 27th is when I have to like land there and then start working next Monday. Basically, I have to figure out how to find a room, how to move my family there for August, and like find our own place and all that stuff. So there's like I have to move first and then move my wife and kids after that. So as you can imagine, my brain and her brain are totally full of things that just everything just spins all day long.
By the way, this is him telling us too.
Long U-Haul
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah. Got the whole
It's a wet U-Haul ride.
there.
It's a very wet U-Haul ride. Yes. Yes.
They've got the amphibious U-Hauls for that kind of thing. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so yeah,
awesome that you found something. Are you getting like a cost of living adjustment to salary to be able to live in Hawaii, or?
oh, for sure. It's definitely the most I've made. Like,
Okay.
you know, what they had the job up there for, like I got the top end of it. I mean, largely because I need to relocate. My wife's going to be sort of out of work for a while. There's a good benefits package that includes retirement, and it includes full like medical, as well as like some profit sharing as well, which is cool.
Nice. When you need to hire another manager, let me know.
Right. No, I mean it's in a lot of ways, the world sort of like opened up at the perfect time, but in that it creates a lot of like turmoil because so much needs to happen in a short amount of time, and a lot of things need to happen like almost perfectly. And while it's really good, again, I will be 4 hours behind everyone, which I can't do a show like that, and I work mostly at night. So if I do keep streaming, it will be at a time that is vastly different than what most people are used to seeing me at. I can't really help that, unfortunately. So
You'll just have to do a few guest spots every now and then.
right. No, I mean, I don't plan on stopping like the content, but like the setup I have right now is going to be completely like downgraded. Unfortunately, I just can't bring everything with me this time. And yeah, so I'm sorry, you know, I haven't decided when the last episode is going to be, but rest assured it's going to be a banger. But it'll be the final one for several years. If we do bring it back, it won't be back for a long time. Shagsworth, I could finally pass you on sub numbers. Yes, you could. You could. Yeah. Yeah. Conversations actually might come back a lot more because depending on where I live, I could be like an hour, like it could be an hour drive to work. So if that's the case, more conversations that we could have. Your lack of
I hope
commitment.
the internet is good there.
It's not bad.
Right.
What I had, it's what do we have over there? I think it was Spectrum is what I had last time.
No, I'm more concerned about your cell phone data.
Oh,
internet usage
it's been
to do conversations.
There's a couple spots that are like on like the coastal roads. There's a couple spots that you like go into these like weird canyon switchbacks that you get no service. But what the commute I might have goes up between the two volcanoes. So that's
you're going to be on the Big Island?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Back on the Big Island. So if anyone ever goes to Roy's on the Big Island, just come and say hello and I'll hook you up. How high are the chances
I might
of
be
Oprah?
actually going out there in August, so
Well,
that'll be right after you've gotten there.
Yep. How high are the chances of Oprah owning the house you buy? I don't.
Wrong
does she-
island.
Yeah, I think probably. The wrong island.
She's Maui.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No chance. I'll be on so the southernmost island, the biggest island, the Big Island. So yeah, that's if I've been out of sorts or if I feel a bit melancholy. Like I know people like, oh, why are you so fucking sad that you're moving to Hawaii? It's like because there's a lot of work to be done, and we have a good life here. We're gonna rent our house, which is fine. There'll be income from that, but it's hard to upend your family and stuff to go.
Yeah, but it's also upending to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to like South Dakota or, Arkansas.
Right.
It's Hawaii.
No, it's great. It's where we want to be. So,
Yeah. Well, congrats, bud.
thank you.
Yeah, dude, that'll be awesome. I can't wait for pictures.
Oh, trust me. There's plenty to be had, and like I said, I'll still be doing content when I can. When I was living out there before, it's where I made my start. Like I had a really weird time slot, and that seemed to like work because it was weird. Like now that I'm on the mainland, I'm sort of like overlapping everyone, which could be tough. So maybe maybe things will ramp up again. I do stuff during the day. So no worries, bros. Yeah. Let me see. What do we got here? Oh, what did Professor Service say? I've been to a Roy's here in Arizona. Yeah, there used to be one in Scottsdale. It's easily the best seafood I've ever had. My wife and I still remember finally going there. We actually have a picture somewhere, just the two of us. Yeah, Roy's it's an upscale place for sure. It used to be part of the Outback Steakhouse group, Carrabba's and all them. Because when he was franchising, he needed that group to do it. Now he sticks to the islands for the most part. I don't think there's anything else outside of. I think he's got one in Pebble Beach, and then I think they're on the islands now, and plus a couple other cool concepts that he does. But the ones on the islands are great. I mean, you have like the freshest seafood ever. So, anyways, sorry to gab off like that and chat. But I want to let
gotta inform the people.
Yep, gotta let you guys know. So like I said, I will be my last day here on the mainland is like the 26th of June. So we'll probably let me see, looking at the old calendar
We'll
here.
get white boy wasted.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, come on.
All you got to do is fly for the whole next day.
Yeah, right. That sounds awful. That sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Probably
the entire time. It'll be okay.
It'll probably be June 18th is like the final dance. June 18th, you're pretty much mark your calendars. Will probably be the last one because then I'll have a week buffer to get everything like done. So, I think Vex is in disbelief. Sorry,
Yeah, right. Vex is very upset about this.
Move south of the wall. It's the longest way of saying fuck off. Yeah. Basically. Yep. That's basically what I said.
Basically.
This wasn't the thing is it wasn't planned, right? Like I planned on being here forever. Like we wanted to go back eventually. I think I was talking about it not too long ago about how, probably when the kids are a little bit older, we'll go back. But this, like, here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Got laid off, trying to find a job. And my wife and I had already been talking about moving like somewhere more coastal or somewhere different. And I had a full-on conversation with Garrett. And he's like, dude, like, check this area out. I'll show you around. You should come here. So we were going to look in Texas. We were going to look in like South Carolina. We were going to look in Florida. And then our conversation kind of swung to with my wife and I, like, hey, why don't we just, if we're going to move somewhere, like, why don't we just move back to Hawaii? Like, I was like, okay, well, let me check with the place I used to work. And so I just reached out to the manager and I said, hey man, like what's, any career opportunities for your boy? And I just thought that he was going to be like, oh, like if you come back, just like hit me up, like give me a call and we'll see kind of where we're at. It's usually the response I get. But like not 10 minutes after I sent that text message, he called me up, like called me, not text, called me and said, hey, what's going on? Are you really thinking about moving? I said, well, yeah, I mean, if the thing's right, like we've been tossing around the idea. And he's like, well, you want to be my assistant manager? I'm like, okay, like, hold on, let me get details and all that. So we went back and forth for a couple of days and he gave me all the good news. I gave him the good news and here we are. It's like I said, the sky is sort of parted in such a perfect way. I don't know. I didn't want to, but I've always wanted to be a volcano tamer. Hook
I
me
asked
up with
for
a hydro.
specs.
Hey, if you want to listen, if you want to come wait tables or bartend, I got you. It's like the best job, like one of the best jobs on the island, working at my restaurant.
Dude, you can make stupid money waiting tables at a restaurant like that too. Stupid fucking money.
I mean, I would
That's
say
some cocktail.
when I was single or not even single, when I was like taking care of my family, waiting tables and bartending there. Typical night, $200 easy, for a full bar, 16 seats. So like it's totally doable. And it's a
Shit, I've
destination.
learned how to bartend just to move to Hawaii.
It's not hard, man. You can teach a
No, it's
monkey to
not.
make a drink.
See, you take one of these glasses.
Fill it with booze.
You take one of these and you dump one into the other. And we're off.
Yep.
Easy,
And the best part of-
peasy, just like that.
The best part about like my restaurant is that the drinks we make are very simple. There's not like they're simple, they're fruity,
Like
and
Mai
people,
Tais and crap.
yeah, and it's not like these like overly artistic drinks. They're straightforward, fruity, tropical cocktails. Like some of the places will get very, very intricate with how they do it, but like it's not. You don't have to do that. Most people just want a sugary, good drink, and you could learn how to do it. I could teach you, Reiken. I could teach you.
Make zombies. You guys make zombies over there.
The biggest problem with saying to people, yeah, come out, like I'll get you a job, is that most people like get island fever. They go crazy that they can't like up and go somewhere very easily. It's totally a thing. It's totally a thing that people.
There's
That's
liquor stores and
understandable,
there's a
but I barely
Costco.
go anywhere as it is.
Yeah.
Same. I barely leave my neighborhood. Same.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you're a loner for the most part and you don't like that stuff doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. The one good thing is, and I think this will be to my benefit, is that flights, Vegas is known as the ninth island. So the flights are generally pretty cheap to Vegas. So I'll
So
probably
you could always go to the Vegas trip every year and easily.
exactly. So, but yeah.
Well, I know how the liquor stores work out there. I'm going to need you to hit up some ABCs before you head back here for meetups, because I'm going to need you to mule some over for me.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Be a big shot over there. So, sorry, can't make it. Oh, you're good, man. Yeah, you started a new job, right? Right, Grant? I think you said you started a new one.
I think so.
Yes, he did.
No, the Wolverine head doesn't have booze in it. That's just the popcorn bucket.
I need you to mule some stuff for me as well, Shags. Okay, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can.
And it's not technically even muling because it's legal.
Yeah. Seriously, dude, I'm so glad it worked out for you. Yeah, man. It's so far so good. Like I said, a lot needs to happen. My days are pretty full of it's like right now it's a lot of inventory. It's like shitloads of inventory that I'm doing right now, and like anything they don't need is like going into a box. And we just got a storage unit, which I'm going to start filling on Friday, full of stuff. I found a lot of cool comics though. Like there was a bunch of comics that I had that, like I'm probably going to put in a media box and ship out because I really want to read them. Things I haven't gotten to, and I didn't even realize I had. They're not even right. I don't even know where they went. Shit. But yeah, no. I'm excited, and that's the last. We'll talk about that for a bit. Sorry, sorry for boring everyone on that. But what have I not read yet? The it's over there on the ground. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from like '89. I have like those two books. And then there's something by George R.R. Martin, which I posted on Twitter the other day. I don't know. Hold on. I'll get it for you.
Now he's gone. And it's not even the internet going down.
Not this time, fortunately enough. And he's back. All right, stop talking crap about
Oh,
it.
Scott, you
my
might
God.
like these.
Oh my God,
I
look
just
at all
picked
that.
these up a few days ago.
I'll show you the George R. Martin one. There's a Conan one.
The
Love Conan. Oh, Four
Single
Roses.
barrels.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, the single barrel releases for this year. They released 3 different recipes. I managed to grab 2 of the 3 so far. Haven't opened them yet. I'm going to try them all together. See which one's best.
Wise choice. Wise choice.
Shit. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes, you're back. You haven't been.
I was just vamping while you were gone.
So those 2, I need to read those. I just found this one, Sand Kings. George R. R. Martin.
I've never heard of that one.
My friend Aldous said it's like they actually based some Quantum Leap episodes on it or something. So
One of his earlier works.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is from
It looked like 80s or late 70s.
yeah,
picture.
this is all. Yeah, look at him on the back.
Oh, that's like 300 pounds ago.
Still fat. And still fat.
Right. I have these. I have Mobius. A couple of these Mobius comics that I want to check out as well. I don't even know what it's about, but it looks really fucking cool. Oh, and Dracula. Yeah, all these are from the 80s. I really want to check them out before I forget and they get lost.
Cool.
Oh. Sand Kings. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yep. Any of you guys watch Thunderbolts?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What? Why?
I've been meaning to, but I have not gotten around to it because I've heard it's okay.
Yeah, I heard basically wait for streaming. So I'll just report on the box office numbers.
It's a tough
I heard it's
call.
the best. I've heard it's the best of the slop, but unless you really love the theater experience, just wait for streaming.
I know Vex will vehemently disagree.
He already has.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go. That's the real question right there.
Wait, for what?
Thunderbolts.
The movie. Because that's
No.
how much it would take to
No,
take it,
no,
or
no.
it cost to take
Oh.
everybody in the family.
I would just. I think it was definitely a good experience. Like if you go to I went to a matinee, so go to a matinee. You know, I don't think it's not a kids movie, but it's also not like a movie that like only adults can see. If you want all your whole family to watch it, like just wait for streaming. You don't need to.
Yeah, take the wife and kids to Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh
That's
god,
much
Hell
more
yeah.
appropriate.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
dude,
even make it
bring
to the
it-
trailer.
Seriously?
Bring them the proper. Did you see
Have
the
you not watched
marketing
the
they
other
had
ones?
with the truck?
I have. I just can't. No, I can't. Like the murder porn stuff is weird. I can't do it anymore.
I'm not a big fan of Saw or Hostel, but these ones were always just fine with me.
So I could do Hostel, not so much.
The Thunderbolts has the exact same issues as Captain America 4, just the really weak theme. See, I don't know.
What,
In
it's
fact,
a
you should
sequel
watch
to
my
a
interview.
1990s movie?
What's that? Oh,
Does she mean it's a sequel to a 1990s movie instead of the one it says it is?
I can understand where Vex is coming from with the weak theme. The problem is they try to do a lot in a smaller amount of time. I think what they did right was they took, was it five loners and made them a team relatively quickly. And I think you felt something for them by the end of that movie. Now, perhaps her Thunder Cunt was a bit dry at the end, but what I found interesting was they tackled some serious, like, I think issues with like men's mental health, and people might not like that in particular. Like they might think that's soft, but like in a lot of ways, I think we've talked about how important like men's mental health is. And I think there's been a call for people to respect men's mental health as well. and they did that here in a way that like didn't necessarily trivialize it. And I like that. I like the fact that they touched on John Walker. John Walker is still a fucking badass. He's one of the best characters to come out of this phase 5 or wherever the hell we're at right now. Vex says they took 5 leftover characters and tried to make gumbo, but made a crappy tasting laxative instead. Let's be honest. No, you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong. And you can continue to stroke your cat over it, but I don't even know what kind of insult that's supposed to be.
It'd be like sandpaper right now. She's all dry.
You're triggering me. Good. They did the movies. I'm not sitting here saying that what they produced was a perfect product. Far from it. It's certainly the best project to come out, probably since Endgame, quite honestly. I like the fact that they tackled John Walker's mental health and his family. Like, he presents himself as a family man when his family actually leaves him, and and people were saying the scene where he's sitting there next to the kid and he's on the phone, like, that's stupid. He's right next to the phone. It's like, well, this is a thing that happens, right? Like, people are captured by their phone. It's a problem. People sucked into their devices. Like, I didn't mind any of that. MCU stand confirmed. No, fucker. I do think that there's I hate you. I think it's much better than people get credit for. It was a slow start too. It was a very slow start, unfortunately. This is obviously the wrong crowd to talk to this about. So, and no one, you guys haven't seen it.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you're describing a much worse version of Guardians of the Galaxy. Bring 5 ragtag group members together in a really quick entrance to each other and then make a movie out of it. But those characters were far more interesting to me, because even though I haven't seen the movie, there's not many of the characters that I've cared about from their other stuff. Ghost, whatever Pugh's character is, sure, Bucky's fine, but Bucky just gets tossed around into any group all over the place in any movie, and it doesn't really make sense that he would be there from from what's been going on with him. But maybe the movie actually tells us about that. But it's just, I don't care about the characters.
But you don't know about them.
I know about them from what they've already appeared in. I knew more about the Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie came out, from having watched some of the animated series type stuff. These characters just don't do much for me, and I'm not really interested in giving Marvel much of a chance at this point. I'm not saying that it's automatically bad. I know you're against that. I'm just saying I'm apathetic to it.
Oh, so am I. I think the reason I saw it and didn't really pay attention to the reviews ahead of time was because, like, the only thing that's left to say from our sphere is that these movies are shit. You can make a trendy thumbnail. You can scream and yell at your camera and say how bad Marvel is at this point. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you. Plenty of people who scream and yell. But like, there is.
But we didn't when the movies have been good.
Very true.
Deadpool and Wolverine being the most recent one, where everyone pretty much praised.
Dude, I rode that gravy train for like months talking about that box office.
So many of the initial reactions to like stuff coming out from Marvel is bad. MCU, Kathleen Kennedy, whatever. That's all. That's what it is. Bash, and to some extent it is warranted because it has been bad. But I wanted to go into this in a much different fashion because the trailer looked good. I thought the movie poster looked cool. I wanted to see what this was all about. And it was an interesting, I was surprised. Let's put it this way. I was surprised at how that they approached this subject matter the way they did, because had they continued their like real bashing of men, this movie would have turned out so much different than it did. It would have been like they had a chance to really lean into like making men look stupid and bad and weak, and they didn't do that. And what they did in a lot of regards was show the strength of people coming together, and that again, men's mental health is a real thing that we battle, and we literally push that down into our gut, into our chest. We don't acknowledge it. We just don't.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
No, I don't think so.
You take it, you shove it down, you leave it down there,
and you drown it in alcohol.
Well, you can.
That's what Brahma does.
You're just wrong. You're just wrong, Vex. That's all. It was. You're not wrong. Not everyone's gonna like this movie for sure. It wasn't bad. I won't say it's not bad. It's not great, but it is, like, considering where we are relative to all the other projects, it was very good. And that's kind of, I guess that's the most simplistic version of my review that I can give. Be a man and gloss over that pussy shit. Emotions are for women.
So what you're saying, it's mediocre, which Marvel doesn't need mediocre right now, and Marvel needs
they need wins.
Box
and they're
office
not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need stuff to knock everybody's socks off. That was one of my biggest issues with Daredevil Born Again. It wasn't bad. It was okay to good in certain parts, but it wasn't great, and it needed to be great in order to pull people back in. And that thing's probably going to be the first Marvel show in history to never rate on the Nielsen's chart, and that's not fair because it's probably one of the better things they produced in the last few years, if not the best thing they produced since like literally WandaVision. It's just that's how low the fucking bar is, and the Marvel burnout's so bad that most fans have no desire to even give anything a chance. That's why the opening weekends are so bad. It's why the ratings are so bad, because guess what? We've spent 3-4 years at this point of getting nothing but essentially shit from Marvel shoved down our throats, whether it be on the television shows or whether it be in the movies. And people are just like, I'm not even gonna bother anymore. You know, the reason why Deadpool and Wolverine did so well is because everybody trusted Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Nobody trusts Kevin Feige or anybody who puts in charge of any of this stuff. So that's
where the apathy is. The problem is they can't just make a mediocre movie. They need to win people back. Mediocre is not going to do it.
But yeah, I suppose.
But I agree with you. If they do something right, that is where you call it out that it was right. Sounds like there is very mixed feelings on this movie, not just on this panel and chat, but everywhere that I've looked. There are people that have said, yeah, I liked it, and other people that said, no, I didn't like it. Nobody said it was great, though.
Maybe me. Yeah,
you
and I think
said it wasn't great. You just said
no. I know
it was good.
I think I said it was great at first. Yeah, but I do think I do find it interesting though that people will point to like box office draw and budget and say like this is a successful film, and then when it comes to something like Thunderbolts, they'll be like, well, actually, it's just bad.
Well, it's not all just box office. It's also how much it costs. I mean, it's all the factors that go into that. Is your movie going to make its money back is ultimately whether a movie is a success or not.
Right.
If you're looking at box office.
Yeah, Thunderbolts did it. They cleared
I think it's on its way. I don't think it's quite there yet.
Now, Thunderbolts needs to make between $400 and $500 million globally in order to make a profit. And that's not going to happen because of its opening box office weekend.
Oh,
so
bummer. I guess it is a bad movie.
Yeah, well, it's not. No, it's not that it's a bad movie because I loved Black Adam, and that movie lost money at the box office. But like, it's just the opening weekend was so weak, just based on traditional draw, and it had a really good hold. It had like a 55% hold, which is practically unheard of. But the problem is when you start out at like 75 million, you know, a 55% hold is still only like 33 million dollars, and if you keep having even if you have that 50% hold every single weekend, it's like you're never going to be able to hit that number you need to hit. It's just basic math. It's not that the movie sucks. It's just that Marvel's burnt their fans out. And even though this thing has some pretty decent word of mouth, it's still not going to be enough to get it over that hump that it needs to. It's just basic math, sadly.
And I'm not equating box office with good or bad movie. I'm saying successful or unsuccessful movie for a studio. There are plenty of great movies that had poor box office. We call them cult classics now, because they also had life on VHS, DVD, and everything else.
Right.
So box office doesn't make something good or bad. It makes it successful or unsuccessful.
True. Good
Since
point.
there is nothing afterwards anymore. There's go to streaming. Before, you could have a great movie perform poorly in the box office and still make its money in home video rentals and DVD sales, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, because even the VOD stuff only lasts for like a month before it ends up on whoever's streaming service. So they're only getting like the $20 a pop for anybody that wants to go out there and rent it or buy it, and for like a month, and then it'll end up on Disney Plus or Paramount or whatever. So you don't get like the 6 months you used to have with like VHS and DVD sales. It's just not the same.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It really is.
Dare you call me rational, Vex?
I just cataloged all my DVDs, actually, except for probably 30 or so, but I have like 360 that are like in a box right now, a couple boxes. And I'm like so glad that I have them again, because I mean, the way that movies come on and off streaming sometimes is just the most infuriating shit. And I've
an
found a
easier
lot
way
of
to
movies.
get them over. If you're trying to be frugal about getting stuff over there, you should just leave all the DVD cases. No, you should just get an old CD binder or 6 of them and put all your DVDs into an old DVD binder.
Yeah, I think
that way you've got them with you.
I do think you can send DVDs media mail. So I think you can load up a box and like media mail is like super cheap, and it doesn't really follow the same weight restrictions, but it's kind of like snail mail. So it can take like 1 to 2 months sometimes for media mail to get out there, but we'll see. I want to bring everything, but it might be one of those things that I put aside for a little bit until we like fully get settled, and then like have family mail the stuff out at a later date.
Well, not to put any more burden on your mind, but make sure you're getting into a good storage company and unit, because you don't want anything to happen to all that stuff.
No, I know. Yeah. No, there's a good one right down the street from my house. Not unfortunately. Luckily is what I meant to say. There's one really close by, so that's nice.
Okay.
No, yeah. No, Vex, we should talk about it. We should talk about Thunderbolts more. I'd love to talk to you about that movie, since these guys don't go to the theater. I'm just kidding.
No, I just didn't have it assigned as homework for once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Everything else I get asked to go see. They didn't ask me to see this one, so my apathy kicked in, and I said, good, I don't have to go see this crap.
Yeah.
I saw Sinners a couple weeks ago. That's the first time I went to the movies in a bit.
Oh, how did you like that? I didn't see it, so
it's good. I liked it.
Good.
Yeah. It was a very entertaining movie.
You guys talked about it a little bit on your interview yesterday, too.
Yeah, she saw it.
She wasn't real happy with some of the big reviewers here on YouTube's takes on it.
Yeah, I mean, understandable. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. It's why that I don't really want to hear reviews anymore, because I'd rather go into something that I might be interested in and kind of make the decision for myself before someone tells me how I should feel about a particular thing.
I found that to be the most interesting part of the interview, that like 20-30 minute portion.
Yeah. like, again, I totally respect everything that everyone does. Like, people work really hard on this app, like, but I think there is some audience capture that happens a lot of times, and like
Exactly.
I said, I'm guilty of it too, or have been, and I'm fatigued, as I'm sure many people have seen over my tenure on YouTube. Is like I'm fatigued, and I think part of it is, and I don't know if this is how I described it on the interview yesterday, but like as the pendulum swings back again, I've seen like how I've gone from one side to the other, and now as I come back the other way, I'm okay. Now I have a clearer picture of what I want to see and how I want to view movies, because I actually just made a little TikTok today about like how I think reviewing Hollywood or being critical of Hollywood has ruined Hollywood. Like, people have almost forgotten how to have fun with movies to some extent. It's like, I think we could be critical of it, and I've said this for a while. We can be critical of Hollywood, but we also need to remember, it's a movie. It's not the end of the world. But one point that she did make that was important, that I guess I could kind of correct myself on, is that there is a lot of influence garnered from media. Like, a lot of our values are gathered from media that we consumed as a child. So to that extent, I will say I'm owning myself.
That's why
here.
the culture war exists. It's not to get better movies. It's to get crap out of our movies and entertainment.
Right.
Crap being the woke stuff, the DEI stuff. I mean, yes, great movies would be great, but really but for me, it's more about the culture war and pushing back on the stuff that they are trying to get into media that is for, I mean, mostly young adults and children. I mean, sure, Marvel is for pretty much everybody, all ages, but I would still, I mean, before I started doing this, I would still consider those, movies that were made primarily for a younger audience, not 40 to 50-year-old men.
Yeah, and
but when they start stuffing a message into it, that's when it becomes my business, because then my kids are seeing it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always been my thing with it all too. It's like, yeah, it's just a movie. Okay, Matt Walsh. It's one of them situations where it's like, no, I've got 6 kids, man. It's like, I want our culture and our media and entertainment that they're growing up on to be good and not filled with a bunch of brainwashing nonsense, because I don't want them to see that. I don't want them to be influenced by those things. And it permeates our culture in like pretty much every single aspect. And it needs to be purged completely and totally, and needs to be thrown back into the depths of hell that it crawled out of, hopefully to never see the light of day for another generation. And that's what it's going to take to fix this. And so, yeah, we're going to be critical of Hollywood until they knock the nonsense off, and there's plenty of other reasons to be critical of them. I mean, we could have roasted Creature Commandos all day and long for James Gunn's little bit of wokeness that he did in it, but it's not, there was way more better excuses to roast that show, because it was just fucking trash, man. Like, It was just bad outside of the art. So it's like, but yeah, to keep them on their toes is the only way you're ever going to keep them in line. And the problem is people fell into it's just a movie, it's just this, and they stopped paying attention, and that's why it got so bad. That's why it got to the point now where it is because we stopped paying attention. Everybody stopped being critical of this stuff, and they were just like, it was like what I remember in the 90s. Oh, those crazy college kids, once they hit the real world, they'll grow up and learn. Oh, really? Did they? No, they took over your boardrooms, they took over your executive rooms, they took over your HR departments, they took over all the rest of that stuff. So when we stop paying attention is when things get this bad.
Counterpoint, though, like, this is truly, like, as you're talking, I think, like, well, what about all these comedies that we celebrated, like from the late 2000s, 40-Year-Old Virgin, This Is the End, all these like really funny, raunchy comedies that people like celebrate, so old school, for crying out loud. Like this isn't like,
none of those were made for children.
Huh?
None of those were made for children. Those are R-rated comedies.
Fair. That's fair. That is fair.
And if that's the counterpoint, I mean, if we're talking about what has influenced our kids, you can't point to R-rated comedies. I mean, sure, there's people under the age that are going to see them, but
right.
that's the parents' choice on whether to let them see those movies before they're of the age that you're supposed to be seeing them at the theater. This was kind of the argument I was making with you, a year and a half ago on, what was that game, Starfield? that it's just the creep into things that just normalizes it for your kids. It's no, we're just going to throw a trans here and a trans there, and just a couple trans. You can't be too upset about that.
I mean,
it normalizes it. It's a desensitizing thing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it does. But like, here's the thing: like, the thing with Starfield though is that it was just a boring game.
That's ultimately what it
why-
became.
that's why
Everybody who was defending
failed.
it kind of gave up after another month and said, it wasn't that great after all. They were never calling it great. They were just saying, don't knock it. But that's why that argument blew up. I mean, yes, it was the Az thing, but Az had a point that everybody's just kind of sick of it being stuffed into stuff. That's why it.
But I don't think
became
everyone is. I think everyone in our sphere is. I don't think the general public is. Sorry, Raiken.
I don't think they are, because you got a game like Baldur's Gate 3. I like the game. It's a really fun game, but it also does have some like wokeness in it. But because it's such a great game, people ignore it.
People didn't ignore it. They called it out, but they still played the game.
They didn't call it out as much as like other games. I've seen other games that have less that have been called out for more.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate didn't get called out nearly as much, and it has more than most games, I would say.
Well, the other thing about that too is it's like there's a difference between, like, you can have gay people in your stuff, you can have trans people in your stuff. What me personally is when it becomes woke is when they shove that stuff down your head, down your throat the entire time, right? Like, what was it? I can't even remember the name of the game now, but the freaking one that failed like really, really fast, but had the had the chick that. No, that one, that one was really bad too. But that's another example of one that was like an agenda-driven story. Was the problem with that? It was constantly, I do a barb. If I misgender somebody, I drop and give somebody 5 push-ups. It was like
Veilguard.
Yeah, that was Dragon Age Veilguard. But the other one I was thinking of was the one that the chick looked like a giant fucking hand grenade. And it's like, well, yeah, this is the character you want to play as. This is your tank. It's like, okay, like, really, that the character design, like, we know why you're doing that kind of character design. You know what I mean? It's body positivity. It's all of the rest of that kind of BS. And that stuff doesn't sell. And so it's one of those things. It's like, so like, that's my definition of woke. It's not like Baldur's Gate to me wasn't woke. It's not forcing you to like the Spider-Man, what was it, 2 or 3 or whatever, the one that forces you to go help the gay couple hook up for prom. And you have to play as the freaking deaf mute trans girl and spray paint the pride flags on the wall. Like, those are missions you can't avoid, right? Like, that is forcing you into a situation where you're kind of getting indoctrinated into that kind of stuff. Like, you can avoid the bear sex in Baldur's Gate, right? Like, you don't have to have homosexual relationships in Baldur's Gate. It's when they force you into that kind of stuff that's where the problem becomes. And based on the sales numbers, people have rejected that stuff.
How do you feel about the Pride Parade that's going to be in the new what is that
GTA
game?
6.
GTA 6.
I can't wait to get the tank.
I'm wondering trouble for mentioning it. Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to force it, like, make it so like you can't do any shenanigans, like, because people are already talking about all like the stupid shit that they're going to do when they get into that mission.
No, they'll have that whole parade on more lockdown than New Orleans was last year when when we had that parade issue, because they'll have barricades and the cops will immediately shoot you if you get anywhere near the parade.
Yep.
It just sounds like more fun. Like,
like, take all the
no,
cops.
It'll be like an auto fail thing where you cannot do anything, is my guess.
They'll get called out for that by some people if they do that.
Davina, I don't care about body type A or B. Brahma has an axe to grind with it, and I don't care. Most people don't even notice it. You could say it's subliminal, I guess. Even like I said, even the Starfield fucking pronouns thing is such a. It was such a, like, just, it only chooses it based on the body type that you choose or whatever. So like it to me, it was a non-issue. Again, like, there's plenty more to talk about that's wrong with Starfield than body types or pronouns. Like, I just don't care. I do not believe it is a cultural, like, creep in that way, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
Fortunately for Brahma,
in the past, what were the body types?
male and female.
Yeah. So what caused it to change?
I don't know. I don't even remember when it changed. I couldn't tell you when it changed.
Exactly. That's the cultural creep.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but what I'm
now it's
saying
just
is
an
there's
accepted
nothing.
thing.
When I choose, what I'm looking at usually is like the body shape. Like the body shape changes. I'm not necessarily looking at what it says above, like male, female. Okay, like all of a sudden it says body type A, body type B.
And I'm just saying it's a little thing, but we all know there's a male body type and a female body type. Why did it need to change except to, become more acceptable to a very tiny percentage of the population on the planet?
Well, I don't know. I guess
Yes, it's a tiny thing, but it is part of the creep.
yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
We lost him. Bye, Shags.
It's definitely a tiny thing. And then when people were like, why it doesn't matter to you? And it's like, okay, if it doesn't matter, then change it back to male and female. And then they complain that about you trying to change it back to male and female. It's like, so it matters to some people.
And it matters to some people on the studio side when, we don't want you to be able to mod to take out these things that we have made these decisions for you on, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously it matters to somebody. But
it's the way I think of this, and what the reason I think it's so silly is because it's not.
I don't disagree with you, Shags, that it's a silly thing, and like it's not something that's going to change the way you play the game at all, like whatsoever. The thing is like, it just gives the people who are developing the games or movies and stuff, it just like it gives them an excuse to be like, okay, let's see if we can change it another percentage for the next game, and then another percentage for the next game, and then it allows them to slowly creep in things because they think they got away with this one small little thing.
Right. And in Davina, you should. Like, I don't care if people avoid the game if you don't like it. If you find out there's body type A, body type B, or there's a list of pronouns 3 miles long, don't play the game. I don't care. And as a matter of fact, it's probably best that you don't, because then you're really voting with your dollar, right? Like, if all this stuff is coming out, this will be successful or not for these companies. We've seen games that have body type A and body type B be massively successful. And then we've seen games that have body type A and body type B or pronouns that just are big stinkers. But usually the games that are big stinkers are because the actual gameplay is bad. It's not necessarily like Concord, for example. People say I like simp for that game. I don't simp for the game. I simp for the mechanics that work. The game as a competitive hero shooter was actually halfway decent. It had a poor color palette. They led with identity marketing, which was really bad. But there's actually really good aspects of the combat in that game. But in that situation, they did a lot of harm with their identity marketing, like that being their forward-facing thing. And again, the color palette on it was awful. It wasn't something nice to look at. Marathon is going to be the exact same way. Marathon is not good to look at. It's not fun to look at Marathon. But the combat, I bet, is going to be slick as fuck because it's Bungie. And same thing with Concord. It was Bungie devs. I do identify as a fat black woman. Only if it serves me, though. Like, if it gets me, a job or something.
Vex, with the amount you're chatting, you could have already been in here for an hour.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Know,
She's
right?
laying there stroking her cat. And I don't mean her fuzzy one. Actually, it is her fuzzy one.
Is she now? Wow.
How would you know it's fuzzy?
That thick, dark bush. Whoa. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Senator.
No one sent me an invite.
Oh shit! Calling Shags out, motherfucker.
She told me never send her an invite. She's like, "Don't send me a fucking invite. I'm going to bed."
I stay up too late if I'm on here.
Yeah.
So do we.
I won't torture you this time, but next week you're getting a link for sure. There's no doubt. What was I gonna say?
999 send me a link.
That's what I thought she was saying. I thought she was saying 9 like a German, but she's not. She's saying no one. No one sent me an invite, or no one sent me one. Yeah, I just like games in Hollywood, we're focusing on things that I think oftentimes are just they're certainly lucrative to talk about and discuss, right? There's like, let's talk about the pronouns in this game. Let's talk about the body types in this game. It's fucking bullshit. Like our kids are going to be trans because of it. And it's like, dude, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not calling you out, Brahma. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking like.
No, I get it, but at the same time, like, and I've told the story before. If you're hanging out with normies and you're watching something like, even say the Super Bowl, and then you point out what will happen in all the commercials about who will be in the commercials, who will be paired up in the commercials, where a white man will show up, but he will be the dumbass for the commercial. And they all suddenly realize that, yeah, for years it's been that way. It's mostly that we're trying to open the eyes of people because most people know it's there, but they don't notice it until somebody points it out to them. That there has just been so much going on in the media that is A, divisive, B, woke, and C, all diversity, equity, and inclusion.
But how do you without sounding like a like I guess the question is, how do you draw attention to these things and be like, hey, guess what's coming up, without sounding like a pompous like prick?
Well, I was sitting in a group of 20 people watching the Super Bowl, and I was like, guarantee you that these things will be in the ads for the whole Super Bowl. If we did a bingo card, you can mark them all off. And they all were like, okay, so what do you think is going to be in it? So I went through kind of a list of things that are, stereotypical in today's commercials. You're going to have everything's going to be an interracial family. If there is a white person, they will be the dolt in the commercial. You will have, such and such and such. And sure enough, almost every commercial during the Super Bowl was those things. And they're like, well, why would you know that? And it's like, because that's what it has been for years now. People just don't notice it. They notice it, but they don't actually equate it to anything. That's what I mean as the creep type stuff, the cultural creep.
No, I got you.
It just becomes so normalized that nobody notices that they're just pushing stuff on you. And not all of it's necessarily bad. It's just all woke.
That word has lost meaning. Honestly, you can never wake everyone up to something because there will always be a majority of the population that are just mindless cogs. Yeah, and I think that's
you can wake some people up to things.
True. I just think, I guess my point of all of this is like, this is exhausting. Is it not? Like, I mean, I'm probably the exception to the rule here in this whole sphere. Like everyone else seems to like edge this shit all day long and fucking.
No, it absolutely gets there. That's why I do a hockey show on Saturday nights. That's why I do a political show on Sunday mornings. Because every other show that I'm on, we do pop culture stuff, and that was never really my thing.
Right. And I'm saying, like, that's what I mean. Like, I think so many people in this sphere are keyed into it, like totally, 100%. But then, like,
the sphere, that's what made up this sphere.
Right. But
people have other interests outside of that. That's where you get all the splinters off of the sphere.
But I'm saying
that is the main makeup of the sphere.
But it's a spiral. It's a downward spiral of like, look how bad this thing is. Like let's create the virtuous circle. Like, what's great in life? Do you, like, personally speaking, like all the great stuff that I've gotten out of life recently has been not connected to any of this. Like I've started to enjoy movies. Some of it is because I go back and look and watch things that are genuinely good, like real, like Hollywood classics. But like part of it, again, it's stepping back from watching the reviews too early because it felt like people were like poking me saying, don't do this. Like listen to me. You know, it's the same thing, but on the other side, right? It's
Sure,
people talking at me.
That's also part of the audience capture.
Right.
I mean, that is what I've mentioned it tons of times on streams. People don't care as much when you're talking about something that is good. Like talking Landman, talking Mobland, talking any of the shows that are good. It's hard to talk about them unless people have watched them, because you want people to watch them, because you're giving them a good recommendation, or what you consider a good recommendation. So the issue becomes, you can't spoil it because you want the people to watch it. We spoil the crap. We could talk for 3 hours about a bad movie because you can spoil the crap out of it, because most of the people in chat don't care to go see it. They're doing the I saw a movie so you don't have to thing with us.
Right.
On good stuff, that's not, I mean, people will leave the chat if you say, yeah, we're going to be talking spoilers for the latest episode of show that people like, unless they've already seen it. So that is part of the audience capture, is the bad rants are much longer and take up more time than talking about something that is good. Because ultimately, with something that is good, without getting into spoilers, you can basically say, it's great. I would give this a 9 out of 10, this episode. Outside of that, people are like, I don't want any spoilers. So it's hard to talk about the good.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I think the fix to that is to talk about everything you can without spoiling it, and then say, okay, everyone, we're gonna like get into the parts of this episode that we're spoiling, because there's a way to talk about.
Yeah, usually we put up like spoiler banners and stuff when we do start talking spoilers.
Right. And
on any of the shows, but you also lose a chunk of audience, and then they don't come back.
It's a VOD.
I mean, they don't come back that stream.
Too bad. It becomes a VOD. Like that. Again, people making excuses they can't talk about something because like the audience might leave. Like, yeah, I get it, but like then that becomes like the VOD portion of everything of like, hey, spoilers, but we're going to talk about, why this episode's good. And more in depth, and we're gonna get into the details of it. Like, I don't believe personally that is a good excuse for people. Like, talk about good things, and don't make excuses that you can't talk about it because it's not financially good enough to do it. Like, that's stupid. Like, I don't know.
I don't make anything. I'm talking about the audience capture thing. And if your money is coming from live streams and having people watching you, then yeah, you're probably going to do what they expect you to do, more so than going outside the norm and talking about something you actually like.
That's shitty, because like then you're bowing to petulant children on the internet who can't like if you're the expert, if you're coming across as, hey, I know what I'm talking about. I want to say my piece on this because I've studied film or because I understand story structure, and we're going to talk about it in here, and there's going to be light spoilers. And like, well, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm not going to be here anymore. Well, fuck off. Like, I'm here to talk about movies and why they're good. I don't want to sit here all day and talk about why they're playing. And again, I'm not talking in
sure, it goes back, I understand that, and it goes back to why you're doing YouTube, whether it's a hobby where I just like to get together with Shags, Nerd, and Raiken and talk about whatever, or if I'm trying to make a living out of it, which I am absolutely not, at least at the moment. Would I like to be there at some point? Sure. But right now it's a hobby. I do it every night. I talk to a different group of people almost every single night on YouTube, because I do different shows every single night. And yeah, I mean, the part that drew me to it, as we've talked about tons of times before, was just having conversations, because I needed something to fill the void after COVID, where there just wasn't as much social interaction for a extrovert, social person.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, I can find a ton of people here that I can actually speak to. So it depends on what you're trying to do in this sphere as well, as to whether that'll work for you or not. I get what you're saying, that it sucks that people won't talk about what they like, but and you do get the mentions of, even on FNT, Gary will be like, go watch Mobland. Mobland's been great. That's mixed in amongst 3 hours of all the other stuff on FNT that is probably not talking about anything they like. but that's about what you get from the "this is what I like" thing.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand. Like, I mean, it's okay. The prime example of like of what I'm kind of saying is my Alien Romulus like review. That thank you Vex for sitting through that and having once again your thunder cunt being dried up from that. But like the point of singing the praises of that movie as I saw it was like, this is going to generate discussion and people are going to downvote it. They're not going to like it. But guess what? That's also interaction. But I'm also talking positively about something that most people are trying to take a dump on. Like, and people's brain is so broken they can't see what I'm trying to say. Like, did you guys watch any of the trigonometry?
And I watched your review.
No, yeah. So I'm talking about there's an interview that Trigonometry did recently with this woman totally out of her mind.
Yes, like, the feminist.
Right.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, he was trying to explain to her what was the part they're on about how that like the Aboriginals were like overtaken because they were technologically inferior, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're like." She was totally
you're the master race,
right? And he was like, "No, you don't understand what I'm saying." Like,
no, it's a fact of history that one side had better technology than the other, and the whole world was conquest up until we decided we were civilized. And at this point, there is still stuff going on that most would consider conquest.
Right.
We just look at it in a different way than we did back in the day.
Yes.
And she can't look past what her, history begins at the year 2000 for so many people.
Yeah. And this, like, I mentioned that because when I mention something like when I praise something like Alien Romulus or the Thunderbolts, people react in a very similar manner. They have this like, well, actually, how could you say that about this? Like, this is actually objectively wrong. And they try and twist what's going on. I'm like, hold on, like, try and step out of this bubble that Marvel is so bad at what they do. Like, you're not necessarily wrong, but step out of that for a second and look at it in a different light. So it's and say, yeah,
I try not to call something good or bad unless I've actually viewed it myself.
The new Assassin's Creed game. I as much as people are like, as much as I see the bad things in it or that people have said, like, I see actually a lot of people on my friends list who have been playing it, and people have said, like, I'm actually enjoying this game. Like, so at what point are people going to be allowed to just enjoy what they're doing? Companies get praised for making a game that was like actually pretty good. I haven't played it, so I can't really say. I don't know. On
that one specifically, I would say if they enjoy it, fine. I've always said, if you enjoy something, go ahead, enjoy it. But we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. If you see something that needs to be called out, I think you said it to Davina, don't give them your money then. And that's what people did.
Yeah.
So sure, there may be people that are playing it and like it. These companies are still going to go under if they keep doing things that people don't like. There are going to be people who enjoy the game, but there are going to be those of us who choose not to give our money to a company making these decisions. So, I mean, you can't really play it both ways. You can't call the game bad. I mean, I agree, you probably shouldn't call it bad until you've actually played it. But you can look at all the evidence that was surrounding that game and what they were trying to do with it and all the context that was given from the developers and say, I'm not supporting that with my money.
No,
it doesn't matter if the game's good or bad. I just am not giving them my money.
So the Devastator said, negative reviews sometimes don't get all the views. There were several shows that were ripe for the picking. People made views, but no one watches. No, I'm sorry, but the negative stuff, like rage bait, is what really makes money right now. Unless you're doing like
clickbait thumbnails,
yeah,
are a thing.
Yeah, like if you're not following that formula, then it's. I mean, if you're following that formula, you'll do well if your content is good enough.
Algorithm wise, yeah.
Yeah. Like, again, it's all based on different things. Like you have to improve your content. The content's got to be like good. You have to have good upspeak and all that crap. So like it but you know, there's some people who do it and who suck at it that aren't going to like make it. No, Jesse.
That's why
Hey, man.
600.
You do it full time.
Subs.
I do. Which is an absolute testament to the miracle of God. There's no reason I should be able to do this full time at my level. But no, I mean, to a certain degree, it is true. You know, it's one of those things. It's like, unfortunately, sometimes, you know, like negative videos do get better views, but sometimes positive stuff. Like I don't remember. There was something a couple of weeks ago that something was coming back, and it was something was good. A lot of people were excited about it. It looked like it was doing good, and it really surprised me. It popped off. The damn thing got like 500 views, and I'm like, holy shit! Something positive actually did well in the algorithm, because I do positive videos. Like I try to mix it up because I can't do. Like I'm really excited that Jessica Jones is going to return on Daredevil. Like Ritter, I think she's a great actress. I thought she did a great job as Jessica Jones, and so I put a video out this evening about that. But you know what? It probably won't get very many views, but I don't care. I did it anyway because I'm excited. I really liked her, and I'm excited to see her come back. So whatever.
I mean, I think positive things can pop off. It's just like, I just think the sphere of like commentary has gotten fixated on negativity. So like, if you want to be in the commentary sphere, it just, you got to be in, it's mostly got to be or get the views from like the negative side rather than from positive talking. And like,
the algorithm doesn't know what to do if you do opposite of what you always do.
Exactly. And like, it's like, if you want to find positive stuff on YouTube, it's usually just like, you have to do something way outside the commentary sphere in order to be successful at being positive and whatnot.
I think Disney fears YouTubers now. I don't think so, honestly. I think they're going to keep making what they want to make.
They keep making them villains and things.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they fear them. It just means that they see.
It means that they've taken notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing: Disney's been around for almost a century. They will probably be around for another century. It's like this is just a period of time where they have to just wait it out. They'll get over this time period and they'll have another successful.
Well, they wait it out or they make a change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really will Disney continue to be successful or will they go under? It's really, will they continue to give us crap or will they start to make a change at some point because they notice that people don't really care for what they're making.
Yeah, totally. And I just don't see Disney continuing to lean so heavily into making bad movies to the point where they go under. Like, they've just been such a powerhouse. Now everyone has their reign, right? Like, even Rome fell, but
after over a millennium.
Yeah, but well, you know, I don't see them going. I think eventually they'll have to turn. They'll have to realize like they're just not making money with this. You can only like operate at a loss for so long. I mean, these companies are huge,
and what really hits them is park attendance. That's where they subsidize everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Their cruises and their park attendance are what subsidizes the rest of what Disney does. It's not the movies. They can lose money on the movies. I mean, as much as we like to think that it's hurting them when the movies fail, it does. But that's a small portion of their business at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They own ABC, they own ESPN, they own Hulu, they own all their parks, they own all those cruise ships, they own all the merchandise from old Disney and new Disney. You know, they've got money streaming in from everywhere.
Yeah.
If Disney Plus fails, I don't think they care. If the movies fail, I don't think they care.
No.
Sooner or later, they might take notice. But, I mean, that also takes probably a change of leadership. It's because nobody's going to admit right now at Disney that anything's going wrong.
They'll sell off everything else before they let like the Disney name fail. Like they will keep their park intact and they will keep the Disney brand like there. Like they'll get rid of everything else that they're a part of before any of that goes down.
At worst, they go back to being an animation studio with parks.
Right. Right. And then and at that point they have to
draw cute things, sell merch.
Right. And they have to become a smaller entity. Like that's a lot of the problem is that they absorb so many of these other companies. And yeah, in the short term, I think they made a lot of money, but like as the beast grows, it becomes harder and harder to control, just like the federal government. Like you get so many areas, like it gets so big at some point that you start forgetting the different corners of it.
Yeah. You need a Doge to go in and figure out what the hell is going on with everything.
Right. And nobody wants to do that because it makes you look like someone incompetent, but also someone's got to be the bad guy
to investors.
Yeah. And then you also, you have to be the guy who also is like going in there and saying, oh, look at all you guys. There's 100 of you that aren't really doing anything or your job is redundant. Sorry, you got to go. Like no one wants to do that. What's that?
Can you tell us Office Space? Can you tell us what it is you do?
What is it you do here? Well, to be quite honest, Bob, I usually come in about 15 minutes late and just trying to look busy. Oh, man.
Yep.
I did see right before we went live, I saw that Zachary Levi is tweeting about being in talks with the Rippaverse on stuff. I don't know what that means. I'm sure there's plenty of NDAs going on, as they like to say.
Well, I mean,
he's going to do ISOM and blackface.
No, he's not going to do ISOM, but
well, I mean, isn't Rippaverse doing that thing with Angel Studios? So it's like they're doing what they can to expand their stuff.
The Angel Studio thing is a manga, isn't it?
I don't know. I just remember that they're doing some type of comic book based off of animation that Angel Studio is doing.
It's a manga about an angel or something. One of the angels, like his origin story. I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe he's part of that stuff. The tweet was
Well, I mean, what I meant by that is just like Rippaverse is breaking into a version of Hollywood with an actual movie studio and working alongside them and stuff. So, I mean, Good for them for that.
Yeah, interesting to see. Like, I mean, it makes sense with Zachary Levi, but I guess to see him tweet about the Rippaverse was cool. Like, good for him and them to get involved with a big actor.
I thought they were getting involved with another person, Slash. I thought
Slash has been seen wearing their merch.
Yeah,
I think Eric July, you're muted, Jesse.
Yeah, you're muted.
That's a connection through the Saska twins, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Slash is friends with the Saskas. They're part of Rippaverse. He wore a Rippaverse hat to a premiere of something.
Yeah.
And was photographed in it. I don't know if Slash actually knows what it is outside what the Saskas do for them. But
okay. I think Eric July had also like alluded to something might be happening behind the scenes with him.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw, but
I imagine if you've got that connection between them, him, and Slash, sure, take advantage of it if you can.
He also has
that Slash's image fits very well with the Angel Studios image.
True. Maybe he can make like a cameo in like a backwards video or something. That would be pretty rad.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't exactly fit the brand, it would seem. But hey, far be it from me to know anything about that.
You wouldn't think that, say, Megadeth would either, but Dave Mustaine is a very outspoken Christian at this point. Alice Cooper is an outspoken Christian, although his shows are not what you would say would fit the image of a Christian usually. There's a lot of old rockers that have made some changes in their ways.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Guns N' Roses was never really as dark or crazy as Megadeth or Alice Cooper, so who knows? Not
dark and crazy, but dark in some ways.
Drug fueled and sex crazed,
right? Yeah,
but not like Alice Cooper imagery is more like Halloween and horror. is what I mean by dark and crazy. But yes,
Okay.
Slash definitely drug fueled, booze fueled, and sex crazed.
Here's an interesting. I was actually thinking about this week. Thanks, Jesse. Wait, was that Jesse? Or was that, okay.
I think
I
he's the
think
only
so.
one with
Are we
control.
working now?
You're delayed
If you
now.
did
You're
a
delayed.
yes.
Dude, what the hell is going on?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna reset some shit.
Okay.
Maybe reboot.
I was thinking this week about how I was just thinking about people in general and like how glam rock was like how because I feel like glam rock is one of those things that like people will celebrate like a lot of these bands like Guns N'
Motley
Roses,
Crue,
Motley
Bon
Crue,
Jovi,
Bon Jovi, Twisted Sister.
Kiss.
And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they were. I mean,
Feminine and gay.
Flamboyant.
I think I hit the point he was trying to make.
You froze him. That's perfect. Is
But
that? Do I sound better now?
They
Yes.
also had a
Okay,
few 100,000 groupies at the stage that they could take their pick from. So
Mhm.
Yeah, they definitely had the good pickings of that, all that kind of stuff. There was no doubt that it would have been pretty well known if they weren't taking groupies back. So yeah.
is that what you were
Speaking of
trying
things
to
that
say,
take
though,
groupies back.
Shags, before you froze?
essentially, yeah. It's one of those things like where it didn't seem to be like talked about a lot because we always look at history with these like sort of rose-colored glasses, and like it was an interesting like juxtaposition where it's like that seemed to be like hyper masculine, but it was like very feminine, like in their presentation, But would you consider that like a cultural like creep, like
I would
degrading
consider
culture?
that a fad, which is what I would also probably at this point consider the trans movement as, because I don't see it as anything. I see it as more damaging than any other fad in history. But with the amount of people trying to detransition and all that kind of stuff, I see it as a fad that people got caught up in, much like cutting, where it has serious, semi-serious implications. Cutting did, because you could go really wrong with that. But I see glam rock as a fad in the same way. It was like an 8-year period at best. And it wasn't like it influenced every young boy to go out and do it. It was pretty much the rock scene.
Yeah.
Which was more dominant at the time.
But I feel like the 80s were just like filled with, I mean, like guys were dressed with the teased hair and
guys may have had the teased hair and
bandanas,
and hairspray, but I don't recall
leather
them
pants.
actually going to school in full makeup. The bands did. The kids just kind of emulated the hairstyles. That's what I remember, but I was also young in the 80s.
Yeah.
So were you. All of us were. Well, Reichen probably wasn't born.
No, I wasn't born in the 80s. But wasn't it like just like the whole point of like them dressing up the way they were was just kind of like it was just a rebellion against what was kind of like
straight edge especially coming off of like decade after like the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Who are you asking?
I'm not sure what caused glam. I mean, it was like a whole bunch of bands. There were a whole bunch of rock bands that had, and metal bands that had long hair.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you started teasing that hair and using hairspray and wearing makeup. But it was mostly, I think, just trying to be a sex symbol type thing was what was driving them, because, and let's be honest, there were some great songs that came out of that era.
For sure.
Most of it was bubblegum, pop rock.
It's just funny because it seems like if that happened today, people would be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, stay off the TV, stop dressing like a woman, stop trying to get my kid to dress like you. I'm just saying, if that had happened now.
But their motive as males back then was to get females.
Yeah, it was they kind of dressed feminine, but they
laid with women.
I'm saying same thing.
Heterosexual movement.
I'm saying the same thing. Why are you trying to feminize these my boy, even though you're saying that he he should like women, but he's dressing like a girl in tight leather and spandex and long hair. Like, I mean, I'm just saying. I think if it happened right now, the same people who are like, who would have said that that's like super cool back then would be losing their fucking minds.
Probably, but there's a different motivation behind it right now. If we were to see guys start going to that trend again, it's probably not going to be the straight guys doing it, because there's a whole lot of time that's passed since the 80s and what is straight and gay.
Dude, I don't
acceptable
know.
And unacceptable.
What's his name? The kid from Stranger Things in season
Well, there's Harry Styles who wears a dress. I mean, and we've all called him out.
No, I'm not talking about dress. No. I'm saying the dude from Stranger Things that was the lifeguard, and he got like, I think was it season 3? Like there was
Steve or what?
No, it's not Steve. I forget the guy's
the douchebag bully boy brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like the perm or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Or like the really well done hair and the
girl's older brother.
Yeah,
all the girls liked that. They thought that was super cool. But like and even now you're starting to see like that sort of like perm, like kids are perming their hair and like doing like the mullet perm. Like we're starting to get back to that style.
Well, you get retro things coming back, yeah.
Yeah. I think girls back then liked it because it was rebellious to dress for dudes to dress non-masculine. I think nowadays it's not rebellious. You might see some of it come back, but I don't think for straight dudes to do it, it's not a rebellious thing because of the fact that it's so accepting to nowadays to dress feminine. And so it just comes off as just like, oh, if a dude dresses feminine today, people will just think that they are feminine or gay.
Alpha, it kind of did happen again. No one remembers the Scene Kids. All the dudes wore skinny jeans, eyeliner, and rouge. Sorry, teased hair too. Yeah, I mean you're starting to see that stuff.
Future Boys, right? The high-waisted jeans are coming back for girls with the makes your ass look like it's 2 feet long. I don't know what's attractive about it, but
that's Taylor
coming back for some reason because
I
was
fucking
one of the
hate high-waisted jeans.
That was one of
Taylor
the dumbest
Swift's fault.
trends ever, and it's back. And it's like, why? Soon you'll be
Taylor
seeing
Swift made
neon and
content.
spandex again. I mean, at this point, just about every woman I know wears freaking leggings nonstop. It's like, is there anything that you do wear that doesn't just cling completely to your body?
No complaints.
Like, know, if you bend over, you can see straight through the stuff, right?
Bring back sundresses.
Sundresses would be great.
Yep.
I remember that.
Ladies, bring back sundresses.
Yep. My wife's down. I got to go find her a bunch.
But yeah, I mean, fashion does come around. I mean, we had the hippie movement. We've had a resurgence of the hippie movement. You've got other things that have come around too. I mean, kids now are into vinyl, and they're talking about bringing back the cassette track.
My son,
cassette tape. So
my son is obsessed with cassettes. Like we showed him it, and he was like,
"Yeah,
what is this?"
It's on its way back right now. Nobody liked the sound of them. They were just the most convenient thing back then because 8-track really didn't do crap.
Yeah,
but they're trying to bring cassettes back because vinyl's already had its resurgence. Then they're going to try to retro cassettes. Then we'll be back to CDs.
Vinyl's cool. Like it sounds
circle.
really good. But it's a circle, not a triangle. It's a corner.
It's a circle because it never ends. It's a circle.
If anyone
like
can
the record.
tell,
Just like the
what
record.
movie is that from, everyone? If you could tell us what movie that's from, I will give you 10 points.
We got to make our trash gayer. We got to gay up our trash.
It's one of my favorite movies. I think it's like one of Adam Sandler's best.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and then the guy from King of Queens. Like, holy cow, those two are a match made in heaven.
I was going to bring this up, but I don't think any of you are going to play it. No, it's not Be Kind Rewind, but that's a decent guess. It's an obscure. Yes, Chuck and Larry. Well done. Yes.
Now
well
pronounce
done,
you Chuck
guys.
and Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Yeah, that movie's fucking great. Holy shit.
Let's see. Death Stranding 2 is being released. They're starting to get some buzz surrounding that game.
Is that coming out soon?
That's the Kojima one?
Yeah, June, I believe.
June? Okay.
June or early July.
I bought the first one. I'm gonna play it just because, like, some people are like you've gone back to it now and said it's decent, and other people haven't. I'm like, I need a casual game that I can just play.
It's comfort food.
Mhm.
The story is super. It's a movie you play. You know,
Yeah.
that's probably the
It's a
biggest
walking
problem.
simulator.
It is. It is. Like that's what I say. It's super casual. Like it's Kojima to the max is what it like. It is so kooky and weird and in your face. But the story is so cool, man. It is like it's worth it. And the second one's coming out, which is from what was being told is that they've refined a lot of the systems from the first one, but also like infusing more Metal Gear Solid like combat and action into it, which to me is awesome because I think that's what was missing from the first one. There wasn't enough like combat. It was more so like the parcel delivery, which by the time you get to like act 8, you're like, okay, like let's get going here, you know? But yeah, I think this is going to be really good. I'm excited to get to play it.
I'll be doing Dune Awakening.
Dude, it's as a survival game. Is it out right now?
The beta was last weekend. Me and Chad and Mad played it.
When's its release?
Oh, I didn't get the fucking beta key.
Another month.
I've been
You had to pre-order it to get early access for the beta weekend.
Oh, you had to pre-order it? I thought they had like a thing where you could sign up and then like they may send you a beta key.
They did a limited number of keys that way, and then they gave them 1 day earlier access than those who pre-ordered the game. So if you pre-ordered it, you automatically got.
Did you like it
this last weekend? I did not like it as much as Conan yet, but we couldn't play together because we couldn't get the servers to work. Part of what we liked about Conan was, well, A, the nudity, B, that I could sacrifice people, and C, that I could create golems, and it made Mad stop playing, but that we could play together and build out our bases together.
Yeah, because I like Conan Exiles.
Very, like mission oriented so far in the early part of the game. You've got it's essentially a very long tutorial, and then I think it'll let you go free. But right now, I thought it was slow. Mad and Little Chad loved it.
Okay, because like I like Conan Exiles and I like Dune, so I'm hoping like it's a good mixture of the both.
I think it will be. As far as the aesthetic, it's very much Dune.
Yeah, I know. Like
you are looking for shade and water at all times.
I'm excited for that one.
Same here.
Legitimately, yeah, I'm
also excited.
So I think we got a month. I think it was a month from last weekend is when it's coming out.
Yeah, because they just pushed it back
like that.
Yeah, they only pushed it back a month. So the release date, because it was supposed to come out in May.
But I think somebody in the chat earlier had said that they were playing it. Yeah. June 10th is what Weasel said. Yeah, Weasel was who said that they played it over the weekend too.
I'm also excited for Tainted Grail. It's supposed to be like an Elder Scrolls like game that's coming out. Played a little bit of the
I have it, yeah.
Early access, and it's fun, but I haven't played it in like a year. So but the official 1.0 version of the game should be out next week.
That game started out as a deck builder, which was really cool. And it was different for sure, but it was like so unbalanced that it was really easy to like get your character, like your deck really, really strong. But it was fun. And then they started working on this, and if you owned the original like deck builder game, you got this game for free.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited to maybe jump into this, but I've been looking for a new like survival game to play, and what I've been seeing people play with like the Dune game, it actually looks better than I thought it did.
Did you play Conan? Exiles?
I Conan is the most overrated shit I've ever like played, and I can't stand it. So
Well, it's the same company. It's the same system.
that's well, but I guess
It's literally built off of the same system as Conan.
isn't it though? Like so, the desert is like your PvP area, and then you have your PvE, right?
Don't know. Well, where it put me was you've got like rock formation a little off into the distance, another rock formation. You set up your base, you go raid other rock formations, and there's, people out there that you can kill. There's other players out there that you can rob from, that kind of stuff. So it's not really desert as PvP as much as if you find a base, you can, go try to kill the person and take their stuff.
Okay.
The other thing coming out in just 15 days, Elden Ring, Night Rain.
Yep.
I'm going to have a lot of trouble because I'm absolutely playing that game.
Yeah.
Dune, I was okay with. I'll play it with the bros. And we'll be setting up a server, so if anybody wants to play it, you can come join us. But Elden Ring, Night Rain, I'm super excited for. I think that's going to be really fun. There's, as much as, like we've been talking about, as much as there's crap games that have been coming out, there are some true gems. I mean,
2025
Expedition 33 is fantastic. Elden Ring's going to be fantastic.
This year's been a good
I've
year of
already
games.
played. I think it's going to be good. So, yeah, there's lots to be excited for on the game front.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of crap and a lot of studios that are in big trouble, but there are some good things coming out.
Yeah.
And in a tight window, that's the problem.
I know,
right?
You know what I'm actually really excited for, like, to be completely honest, is Arc Raiders. I played probably an hour. It's not much, but like the hour I played of Arc Raiders was a lot of fun. It reminded me of
I enjoyed it, but I also, there was like some things I was just like, it wasn't a fan of. Like, it was like some of the game modes were like a little too slow, and then some of it was like I instantly died and then lost all my shit.
That's an extraction shooter for you.
Yeah, I think they needed a little bit more in between, because like the first few games it was just like you didn't interact with anybody on the map, and then the next mode it was just like you're instantly interacting with people, and it's like there needs to be they need to find their in between.
A balance.
Yeah, because so that like you can get a little bit more enjoyment out of the game.
I agree. I do think that there's some work that needs to be done. I played a game called The Cycle Frontier a while back. It was an extraction shooter. That was it was somewhere in between Tarkov and Arc Raiders, or like maybe a little bit below.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like it didn't feel so punishing. Like the way, like Escape from Tarkov is just like, it's way too punishing for me. I don't have the time to learn all 8 million parts that, and learn what everything does. Like, that's just not for me. But this Arc Raiders like just felt more like, okay, this feels like a comfortable shooper, like a third person shooter, almost like a Division.
I think it definitely has a lot more potential, I feel like, than Marathon, just based off of like the
100%.
Based off like what I've seen from it. And again, like what we played was only the beta, so it's like there's plenty of it for them to like improve and make better and grow. So I'm just saying, like, there are some things that's like, okay, they gotta definitely work on some stuff to like
that forehead is
improve
not that big.
That's not nice. That's mean. Don't say that.
Raiken's forehead is not a 7 head.
Click on the comment above, because I think it's a good question. What game do you wish you could play for the first time again? Any game? It's hard. Any of you guys want to go first?
Red Dead Redemption. I love that. I loved that game so much. That was a game I could go and put hours in, just wandering around, like scalping animals and like just running around and shooting shit. And that was a game I lost hours in, just wandering around doing things. So to experience that one again for the first time would be pretty freaking dope.
This is hard. For me, it's probably Mass Effect. I wish I could erase it from my mind and replay the first Mass Effect because it was so good. I remember getting to the end of that game and just being like, wow, what? Like, so many points during that game. I was just like, am I playing a video game? Like, this is insane. Either that or honestly, like, I know it's cliche, but Final Fantasy VII, like, it was a big turning point in video games for me. Like as more of an adult
system seller, it created the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation sales were not anything near what they were until Final Fantasy VII came out, and everybody had to play it.
Yeah.
That created all of Sony's gaming division.
Yep.
Go ahead, Raiken.
Oh, I was gonna say either Halo 1 or 2 for the first time. Just because like I had a lot of fun when that first came out and playing that with my friends and stuff. Those are some great times. Or this one's kind of lame, but like Pokemon. Just because when I first played Pokemon, I was like too young to really realize how like great of a game that was.
Yep.
When it first came out and how game changer that was when it came out.
Did you have red or blue?
Red.
Attaboy.
Blue.
I had red as well.
Mm-hmm. Playing on a neon green Game Boy Color.
Dang.
I had the big brick fucking gray one, man.
Yeah.
My dad still has his big brick gray Game Boy.
That's so awesome.
We have one too. My son, we actually bought one for my son. I had that first, and then it like died, and then I got very quickly. I got the yellow Game Boy Color, so that's fun. What about you, Brahma?
I've narrowed it down to 2. Both of them are older. One would be Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
It's a really good one.
It's a great Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
But it was still, side-scrolling type game. If I was to go into the 3D type era, it would actually be From Software's original American release over here, Kingsfield. I had never played a game with so much exploration. It's first person with sword and shield and magic. It's the great grandfather of the Souls games. I actually have a full playthrough of it. It's about a 6-part series of videos on my channel where I played through it about two and a half years ago. But if you've never played it, it was so much fun. I mean, there was nothing like it. Was PlayStation 1. So it's like that first generation where you're getting games like that, where you're actually, dungeon crawling first person.
Yeah.
But to do it with sword and magic and stuff, and have it be almost like a Metroidvania, because you had to keep track of all your keys, you had waygates, you had all this kind of stuff, and you just get dropped in on an island. The first thing you do is try to walk across, this you can see another piece of land across from where you're at the island. So you check if you can swim. No, you fall to your death. It's truly From Software all the way through. Like, everything kills you for hours and hours and hours. And I got it when I was in about 8th grade or 9th grade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I spent probably 400, 500 hours on the first playthrough.
Damn.
And you didn't have anything back then. There was no maps. There was nobody telling you. You may be able to go to like GameFAQs and find a few, message boards about how to get a certain thing. But every time you found a new weapon, it was amazing. Every time you found anything, it was amazing. When you got to a new area, amazing. If you could have that feeling again, yeah. And then one other I would throw out there is Super Metroid.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say too, an honorable mention for me is like Counter-Strike Source 1.6. Like that game just sort of like changed how I looked at first person shooters. Like, and everything after that just was never as fulfilling. It's just, and Counter-Strike 2 now is so different than all of it, but it's there. I will go to my grave to say, like, there is not a better like shooter, more technical shooter out there than Counter-Strike. Like, I don't care how good you are at Call of Duty, you're dog shit at CS:GO, like, or at Counter-Strike 2. Like, it's just a totally different thing.
Not trying to belittle your pick or anything, but to me, it's just, if you were for a game you got to play for the first time again, for me, it would always have to be one of the single player experiences.
That's true. Yeah. No, for sure.
Because multiplayer is multiplayer.
It's an honorable mention because it was such like, when I played it, I was like, it's like that when you smell something, it brings back memory. Like there's a smell that just like brings me back.
This is what I was doing when I first played this.
Yeah.
You know, what did I have on the radio or the CD player, that kind of thing. Yep.
Davina has a question of what our favorite game system is. Seems fitting given what we've just answered anyway.
Easy one for me. I always go back to the NES. Yeah. The hardest and best of the systems with the largest catalog.
I mean, outside of just obviously a PC, but my Sega Genesis, my Sonic, and all of that stuff. I mean, I love my Nintendo 64, and I probably put more hours into it. But my Sega and the console wars that were going on in the 90s, and like that was such a cultural thing at the time. Like, I've got so many good memories with that Sega Genesis. So yeah, Sega hands down.
Well, you're all wrong so far.
There he goes.
The Xbox 360, easily my favorite system. It just
Ring of Death.
I mean, yeah, that sucked. I had one.
I went through 3 of them.
I went through one. Sucked. But it's still my favorite console. It had everything. It has some of my best social memories, like as well as single player memories. And that to me was sort of the deal breaker because like I liked like the GameCube is like probably second for me because I have so many great memories with GameCubes. Nice, dude.
Oh yeah.
You have the Wi-Fi adapter somewhere too?
Somewhere. It's just not on it at the moment. Yeah. No, this one was late enough model since it was my third that the Ethernet port is on it.
Wow. Well, the Ethernet port's there, but there was a USB, like it's a little rectangle with an antenna that plugged into the USB that was a wireless Wi-Fi adapter.
Yeah, I think I did have it. It just had a cord about that long and was white with a one light and an antenna. Yep. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. It's in one of the boxes.
Raiken, what's your favorite?
If it's for like social games experience, it would be the 360, like you said. But as like a just console, I'd probably play the shit out of by myself. It'd probably be the PS2. That I like. That was a console that I just played a lot of games on.
Yep, PS2 was that defined like that was if the PS1 like got Sony into video games, PS2 defined them as like we're not fucking around. Like I remember when that thing came out and it was like all the rage. PS3,
the fat.
Oh boy, yeah.
PS3, the original,
$600 right there. Right?
Played all backwards compatible.
Yep. I went out of my way to buy one of those used from a GameStop when I got my first PlayStation 3 because that's what I wanted. Yep.
And then just the other one that's on the shelf over there.
Nice. There's
a Dreamcast.
There's a game that I feel
ahead
like
of its time.
People totally missed out on. It was like Battlefield before like Battlefield really got popular. Or like before Battlefield really took off was a game called MAG. It was on the PS3, but they boasted like it was like 128 versus 128.
I remember
battles.
That.
But it was essentially like separate servers in different areas of the map that were like against it. It was so fucking cool. Like, you basically had to push up the battlefield in order to win. Really, really great. Different classes.
I remember that being like the first big
massively
multiplayer
online
shoot 'em
Yeah.
up game.
It was huge. Like there were so many people on.
Because
Like,
what I think Halo at the time only had like at most 16. 16
8 on 8
people. Yep.
is a discontinued 2010 massively multiplayer online first-person shooter video game developed by Zipper Interactive and published by Sony Entertainment. Yeah, it's I wonder if there's like a game. There's got to be a gameplay video of it.
I remember the game. I remember the trailers for that game.
It was so like full 30-minute domination game.
That,
like it was.
That's another game that my very first playthrough, I would kill to do again. The very first time I got a game online was Phantasy Star Online.
Oh yeah,
on the Sega Dreamcast. First time you kind of went online with everybody, and you just went out and did adventures with people.
Yep.
Feels like nothing today, but back then it was crazy to be able to play with people online in like an RPG type situation.
Yep. Oh man, yeah. Mag is. I don't even want to watch this video because it's gonna make me sad.
There's probably private servers somewhere.
There might be, yeah.
Between emulation now being able to do that generation and private servers.
Stop this, please.
Oh, Davina, you better find a map or start mapping on graphing paper, because the Phantasy Star games were no joke for the old RPGs. You would just drop through the floor and be on a completely different level and then have to figure your way back out through. I had whole graphing paper setups for Phantasy Star back in the day.
Guys, I'll be right back. Someone carry the torch for me real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh no, here he goes again.
Who said
What are
Sega
you playing
Genesis?
with graph paper? Me. I said Sega
Did
Genesis.
you play
I
Shining in the Darkness?
I did not. That one doesn't ring a bell.
No, it
So
was.
I rented a lot of stuff from Blockbuster.
It was a Labyrinth style RPG, turn-based RPG. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
One of my favorite games on the Sega. And I didn't play much on the Sega.
I played like all the Sonic games, all the Sonic and Knuckles. I played a lot of the Mortal Kombat games, Street Fighter. I even had like the turbo controller for Street Fighter Turbo. Like I had a little turbo controller, which was wild because you could just like push the little buttons over and you could just hold the button down and just go. Yeah, it was totally cheating. Like that controller was broken as fuck. That game was a lot of fun. So yeah, no, I played a lot of that kind of stuff back then. No, but I just thought that one was so much fun just because, like I said, you were seeing the Culture War commercials and all of that kind of stuff, and I got it for Christmas, and yeah, so it was I really enjoyed all that stuff.
Did you say Culture Wars when you meant Console Wars?
Yes, Console Wars. Sorry, I'm tired. It's like 12:30 and it's like 12:30 in the morning. So yeah, I'm tired.
Davina, I would almost say play Shining in the Darkness before you play Phantasy Star. If you've already started Phantasy Star, sure, but Shining in the Darkness is an amazing game.
Shining in the Darkness. I wonder if that one's on Steam anywhere.
I don't know about Steam. I know I've emulated it many, many times.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was a Sega exclusive, so I don't know.
Oh, probably not then. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, because I was looking for Black and White, which was a lot of fun. It was it was like a PC game. It was like the first time I'd ever literally played a video game all night long. And because I accidentally stayed up, I like literally walked out of my library and was like, "Oh, look, the sun's coming up." Whoopsie.
I got a fun story about the first time I played The Legend of Zelda.
Ooh.
I got it, and then I immediately did something that got me grounded for like a month.
Oh no.
So I wasn't allowed to play my Nintendo. But we carpooled some kid, and he had to sit there from 3 o'clock after school until 5 o'clock when his parents came and got him. So he wasn't grounded from playing it. So I played through him. He had no idea how to play video games at all. So my original playthrough of The Legend of Zelda was guiding some other kid through all the maps and discovering everything without actually playing the freaking game at all.
Nice. There's always a loophole, right, Brahma? There's always a loophole.
He had to be entertained somehow. They couldn't just tell him, yeah, this guy's grounded, so you're not allowed to do anything for that 2 hours either. So it worked. It's like the original YouTube watch along of a game. I was chat telling him, no, bomb the upper wall. What are you doing? We've already done this before. Just go through the freaking hole.
That was great. Shags, did you find what you were looking for?
I did. I found a toilet because one needed to pee.
Oh, so you're looking for
Yeah.
old video of that game.
It was I did, and I found it, but it caused my computer to go wacky because of
Do I need to share it instead so your internet connection doesn't get destroyed?
Oh,
Right.
I already closed it, so it's okay. We're not really missing it too much. It's a like I would say like I would just check it out. Well, fuck it. I'll find it.
Check it out.
Let me see. Mag gameplay video. This one's 30 minutes long. Let's not do that one.
Holy cow. Shags has no idea what he's doing anymore. What?
There. Share that one.
All right. You want to do it, Jesse, or am I?
Wait,
I
is
don't
that
care. I can do it.
Wait, hold on.
Well, you actually have
Oh,
presenting
that's not even
controls.
somehow.
No,
that's not.
that's the right to repair guy. That's Lewis Rossman.
Why the fuck is it doing that?
Oh, I know. That's funny.
What the fuck?
That's funny as shit.
I just. Oh my god. Give me
Shags
a
is
second.
that much of a boomer. The Shags is that much of a boomer. He even gets the fucking thinking about even the links wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fully support right to repair, but like Shags, I don't think that's what you're trying to show off tonight.
Nope, it is not. Nope. A new Jet Set game. No. They're remastering Tony Hawk 3 and 4 though with Bam Margera. He's coming back.
Oh dear.
You know, another one that was great, that was just its own genre almost, SSX.
Oh yeah.
I would love to play that for the first time again.
Yep.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's snowboarding.
Snowboarding. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It
Remember
was on
Dave
the
Mirra?
PlayStation 2. It was a launch game for the PlayStation 2, and it was amazing.
Do you remember Dave Mirra
It's fun.
BMX?
Yes.
I remember 1080 snowboarding.
Didn't really play it, but I remember it.
It was fun. All right, let's check. So this is Mag for the. This is what I was talking about before. These games used to go on for like 30 minutes, which for the time was a long time to sit and like play like a multiplayer game like this. 30-minute like match for this was like long. You have to take different
Mag is
points.
really built around kind of three pillars of
Go
gameplay.
ahead.
These are the
Well, it's got a countdown timer of 275 minutes.
Holy God.
scale, believe it or not. 256 players. We wanted
This is
to
from-
break new ground technology-wise, and also try to create some gameplay experiences that you
It'd be
just
funny
can't
if
do
this was
with
like Chris
local
Gore
players.
doing a doing a review of the game.
Hell yeah, I remember Paperboy Parrot Head. Played the hell out of that on PC.
Have I ever actually played a game that was like this, first-person shooter style?
Besides it being slower moving, it doesn't look all that different than a lot of the games now.
As far as, like, just
Yeah.
for
No.
pure
No.
first-person shooter experience, but on steroids, I think Max.
Oh, I guess they didn't even have ADS on
Yeah,
this.
no worries. So scale, that's number one.
That's weird.
Number two is command. You got 256 people running around the battlefield.
Well, even GoldenEye had ADS.
Well, in this, we're gonna pause it real quick. You see, like you had in this game, you had like commanders, like so you had guys who could like say like we're going to this point, which I feel like up until that point there wasn't a lot of games like this, especially on console. Like this was a console centric game.
Like they could mark a checkpoint where
Yeah.
everybody could rally to.
Yep, we're going to the the burn off tower, whatever it was called, like or the battery, the anti-air battery. There was only a couple maps. I think there wasn't too many maps, but they were huge. They were totally they were enormous. And this guy was talking. There's 275 players going simultaneously. You weren't all in the same area. Like it wasn't possible to run into all 270 people. They were in separate.
It's almost instanced into corners of the map.
Yes, basically. But they advertised it as one.
You're all going to the same objective, right? I mean, you're trying to capture whatever your objective is for your instance, so that your overall team wins.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, really cool. You could play a little bit more if you wanted. This isn't totally exciting, but
a structure into the game that wasn't rigid and kind of constricting,
or just muted it, and we can talk while it plays.
Working as a team, so that
yeah.
But for the time, it had all the stuff. Someone was okay that you could ADS there. Okay. A lot of the same stuff. You could see where the shots are coming from. It's got that whatever. And there's like you said, there's objectives, things to repair, different classes that you could play. And in this one, you're
a grenadier or a sniper or.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're destroying the anti-aircraft battery here. And I think doing so allowed for different, you could use different things. You could use UAVs. Really, really, really cool. The original Unreal Tournament, yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Did any of you guys play Crimson Skies?
No.
It was, I think, original Xbox dogfighting airplane game, multiplayer online.
Nice.
Or it may have been. Yeah, I think it was original Xbox, but that one was fun.
Davina
played it.
Nice. Yeah, man, I miss back in the day. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I still play half of back in the day. That's the great thing about games is we can still just go play them. The hard part is, no matter how many times I go back to Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I still remember how to do everything in Mike Tyson's Punch Out up until Mike Tyson. Then it's just a weird timing, but it. Like the question earlier, it would be nice to play a game like that again where you have to learn everything over again and not have the internet to tell you how to do it. Yeah.
I will always say, and I'm part of the problem, that streamers ruined video games. They used to have to figure a lot of this stuff out. And the only way to get a little extra was to buy a strategy guide. You had to buy something else. Now you just go watch someone play it. They spoil everything for you, or they tell you all about it. And there's almost and metas too. Even single player games, you can't even enjoy a single player game because people are like, oh, you're not doing the whatever build for that to make everything easy. And you're like, no.
Quit attacking me, Shags.
Oh, I didn't even think of you for that.
I find the meta and everything.
No,
I'm not watching videos. I just like the theory crafting. Like Expedition 33. Part of the great thing about it is you can get all those Pictos and Luminas and create a ridiculously weird build, kind of like you could in Final Fantasy VII with Materia.
Yeah,
like Final Fantasy VII, I had the Materia set up to where, I hit a button. And it could go on and kill Ruby Weapon after an hour and a half without me hitting the button again.
Right.
It wasn't because it was more fun to play it that way. It was more fun to theory craft. Okay, if I combine all of these things, will it work? And then you hit the button and then it just plays out and it works. Because sometimes that's fun in a game too.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying about the meta stuff. Because, I mean, technically, the way I play Elden Ring is get as OP as possible in the first hour.
Yeah.
With whatever weapon. You tell me a weapon, I'll go get overpowered with it in the first hour. I don't stream it very much, or I should be streaming stuff like that because there's a lot of channels that do a great job of that.
Mhm.
But I also play kind of during my workday, and if the phone rings, I have to stop playing. So can't really stream if I've got to take a phone call and talk to a customer for 30 minutes. So
that is difficult.
But real quick, because I know we didn't want to go 3 hours tonight, but so tomorrow I am on a stream as a guest where we are talking mobster movies.
Oh, cool.
So I'm supposed to bring the top 5, and I'm just bringing because my number 1 is going to be.
I'll say we lost Brahma for a second. Start over, Brahma. We lost you for a second.
No. So I'm on a channel tomorrow night talking about mobster movies. We're supposed to bring our top 5. My number 1 is going to be The Untouchables. That's non-negotiable. But what would you guys do for top 5 mobster movies? I've got 5, but I just want to see where you guys line up on it too.
I don't know if I got like a top 5, but could you define Boondock Saints as a mobster movie?
Yeah, it's mobster light, but yeah.
Okay.
I would say.
And then what's that other one with Jack Nicholson and the one with The Departed. Yeah, that's another really good one. I love The Departed. The Departed's really good.
I would be able to input because I haven't watched a whole lot of mobster movies or was not really into the genre for a while.
Codenomics brings up a weird one. Would Lock, Stock be considered mobster?
I mean,
I think it's questionable for mobster. But
yeah, it's
Bricktop
it's English mobster.
Pretty mobster.
I would say again, mobster light would sound.
I would definitely put The Gentleman in there, but I don't know if Lock, Stock is mobster in what it actually is supposed to be. It's more like a heist movie, comedy heist.
I would say, I think The Godfather 2 is one that you kind of have to have on there. Eastern Promises
on there.
Eastern Promises is a mobster movie that gets forgotten about a lot. And then Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks is one of my very favorite movies, and it has what the hell's his name? He's like world renowned, and I can't think of his name right now. Paul Newman, he's in it as well. Carlito's Way. Those are just like kind of off the top of my head.
I was thinking Goodfellas. Godfather 1 and 2, or the mix where they kind of made them seamless and went chronological.
Yeah. Donnie Brasco.
The remix of it.
Yeah, Donnie Brasco.
I've seen on a few people's lists.
Yeah.
The problem is I just haven't seen.
It's a heist movie.
Many of them, and yeah, but I mean, anytime you're dealing with old Vegas, you're dealing with the mob. So Heat and Casino are technically mob movies.
Yeah. I think Casino's really good. I don't know. I don't think
it's so long since I've watched most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Untouchables, I can quote damn near the whole thing. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. Sean Connery was fantastic in that, and it actually gets upstaged by Kevin Costner at the end with one line.
It's not really. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Well, you're wrong.
Huh?
Okay. I thought you were talking about Untouchables. I was telling you you were wrong.
No, Batman 1989. Batman 1989. Is it a mobster movie?
Since Shags likes to do that to us all the time. Well, no, you're wrong.
You know what? I just watched that. Like you could argue is like kind of mobster movie is Jackie Brown. That's a really good. A lot of Tarantino movies are like sort of like mobster like esque. Like you could. I mean, Pulp Fiction. I mean, is pretty much like half of a mobster movie with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta.
Blow was kind of a
Blow,
mobster movie. It's
yeah.
like, it's just more Mexican cartel. But I mean, same thing. It's still organized crime.
Yeah.
Now there's one I didn't think of, Scott. Dick Tracy.
Yeah. I guess.
Ooh, that's
I'd
such
put
a
that one
good
up
one
there.
too. Ooh, I
Big boy
love
did
Dick
it.
Tracy.
Big boy did it.
Yeah, big boy did it. I sweat better with the lights off.
If we're talking mob, like this is where we got to like define mob, because like when I think mob, like I'm thinking like the Italian mob,
The Italian
like,
mafia,
right.
mobsters.
Like that's what. So it
more
when,
the mobsters than the gangsters,
right? So
or gangstas.
right, yeah. So that's why Lock, Stock doesn't really fit into it. That's why Jackie Brown doesn't fit into it. Like they are technically, but like they're not Godfather Part 2 or any of those. Like all of those could be a part of the same world for all we know. You know. So,
Yeah, because even Snatch, I mean, technically you've got the fixed fighting and all that stuff, which would be mobsters for the most part. But
that's
I don't
the closest
think it's a mobster movie any more than I would Lock, Stock.
Well, yeah, and the mob in that is Bricktop. Like Bricktop is the mob in that.
Yeah, there's
Everyone
no
else
other
was-
team underneath him really seen.
Right.
He is Bricktop.
Corky Romano. Well, yeah, Road to Perdition is definitely, it should be on the list. Like it's a really good one. And Eastern Promises is a European one, but it's like it's so good.
Here's an out of left field one. I mean, it would not be the Italian mob, but The Crow is technically a mafiosa type family.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
definitely a
because
mob boss.
you've got a level of captain and lieutenants, or you know, Godfather and lieutenants underneath them.
Yeah.
I would
And
put
all
that
of
one
the peons
closer
on
than
the
some of the
ground.
other ones, but I think I'm gonna do The Crow because I think that'll be a out of left field one that nobody else will think of.
Yeah.
I wanna
Analyze
bring-
this and that.
I mean, there's so many of those that are just everybody's gonna bring Godfather and Goodfellas and The Untouchables. So I'm trying to think of some other things to bring.
Bring Road to Perdition in there. People will be like, oh, that'll be.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it.
Oh. And you're doing it tomorrow? I was gonna say if you have
Yeah.
time, watch it tomorrow. But yeah, it's like it's long.
I've
It was
also
in- like-
got to. I've
It's
also
Jude
got to
Law.
try to see Final Destination tomorrow before that stream, which immediately feeds into Comics Division stream. So it's going to be tight on time tomorrow to watch multiple things.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I will check it out just on your recommendation.
It's really good. It's if I were to, I could probably make a TikTok about how it's just a Hollywood hidden gem. It's a movie that I think not enough people have seen that they really should. It's just overlooked, and it's Tom Hanks. Like he did a great job.
Definitely a movie I remember coming out, and I remember people talking about it, but I didn't remember anybody saying anything that got me kind of interested in it at the time.
What's up, Camelot? Yeah, it flew under the radar for sure, and I think it was because it was a role that Tom Hanks is not necessarily, like, people don't think really thought he was very fit for, but he nailed it. And Jude Law is in it as well, and he is just so good. And Paul Newman. He's a great actor. It was one of his last roles before he died, I believe. So.
I think Davina knows that I try to work in Dark City into almost any list that I get on for movies.
Definitely.
I love that movie so much. Yeah. And everybody that I knew back in high school hated it. Then they were all giddy about The Matrix. And it was like, we saw this last year with Dark City, and it was better. It didn't have the special effects, but it was a better story.
That's why.
And it
Matrix,
had Jennifer Connelly.
That's true. Jennifer Connelly is like,
yeah.
Road to Perdition is about a gangster in Rock Island, Illinois, which I live 5 minutes from in Davenport. Yeah, it's really, really good. Well, as soon as everyone can watch it, they should. Don't sleep on it. And Eastern Promises too. I think you said you haven't seen Eastern Promises. You should definitely watch that. Viggo Mortensen. And who's the other guy? What's his name? I need to remember his name.
What's the one with Johnny Depp playing Whitey Bulger?
Shit.
I haven't seen it, but that
Vincent
would be
Castle.
a mob movie, I would think.
Vincent Castle, Naomi Watson, Viggo Mortensen, and Eastern Promises. Let's see, Johnny Depp. Black Mass.
Yeah.
Black Mass. Did you already say that? Did you already answer that? Sorry.
No, I didn't answer it. I didn't know the answer. I've never seen it. I just know that he played Whitey Bulger in one of them, and that would be mobster related.
Oh man, yeah. There's so many good movies out there. Like, I just wish. I don't want to give that spiel. There's so many good movies that people haven't seen.
Well, if anybody wants to talk mob movies tomorrow in the chat, I'm going to be on Roman of the Empire's channel talking about mob movies with Nadia as the other special guest.
Oh, nice.
A few of you guys know her. So
yep. A History of Violence. I think that's a mob movie too, isn't it? Like, he used to work for the mob and then he like disappears, like changes his identity. Another good Viggo Mortensen movie.
Did you guys see the one with the guy that played Jamie Lannister, where he goes into jail because I think he killed somebody drunk driving, so he gets convicted and he goes into jail and he basically ends up controlling the white supremacist.
Oh no!
Great movie. Can't remember the name. Came out just like 3 years ago, but I wonder if that would count as a mobster movie, because I mean, if you're running the white supremacist from inside the jail, I mean, that's kind of like the mob.
Yeah,
it's just not the Italian mob.
Right. Yeah.
But he's like a completely normal dude who was a really good guy at the beginning of the movie. He makes one mistake, getting a DUI murder charge, and then once he's in, he has to try to fit inside the jail, and then works his way up to becoming basically the boss.
Davina, no, There Will Be Blood is not a mob movie, but the other one he was in, Gangs of New York, is kind of like, I mean,
it's more like gangs.
It's gangs, but it's like early mob. It's kind of, but yeah.
I've got to find the one I was just telling you guys about, because I can't tell you it's a great movie and then not give you a name for it.
Is it Shot Caller?
Shot Caller, yeah. Actually, a really good movie, and Mad would back me up on that one.
Sangre por Sangre, yes. Blood in, Blood out. Yeah, dude. That was a great movie. Yep. The Drop with Tom Hardy. We could go all night.
No, that's some good ideas. We can move on to something, but yeah, Roman of the Empire tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, I think.
Okay. I think we're gonna close it out.
Somebody we both met in Vegas, I believe, right?
Yes.
You met Roman, right?
Yep.
Reiken, I think you did too.
Yes.
I do think we're going to close it out there. It's midnight. I want to keep it to 2.5. And then, like I said, guys, thank you. Thank you for listening to my discussion or my talk tonight about everything that's happening with me. But lots is happening. I'll talk about it more as the days go on, because I'll probably do some live streams here and there. We'll be back again next week with more people. Maybe we'll get a guest. Maybe Camelot can come hang out with us. What do you think, Cam? But either way, we'll be here, whether it's just us hoes or with some friends. You never know. But you guys got anything coming up you want to talk about? Reiken? What do you got? We'll start down here and work around.
Let's see. Tomorrow, got at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I got Baldur's Gate 3 with some buddies of mine on Rumble. Friday, I'm doing my buddy's show, Calling Creations, also on Rumble. And probably going to just be continue playing Baldur's Gate and Oblivion next week. That's about it. Oh, probably doing that Tainted Grail also next week.
Yeah. Very nice. He said maybe I got to drive to Charlotte for the race next Thursday. The ass crack. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, Camelot, it would be a special treat. You've never gotten the stream with me. I would allow it.
All right, Brahma, what do you got coming up?
Tomorrow, like I said, Roman of the Empire, and then on to Comic Show as usual. Friday night, Ascent and Art. Then I may do a Expedition 33 stream just to show off my ridiculous build that is just dominating the game. Nice. I'll probably go into New Game Plus. Saturday night, I've got Bourbon and Boarding where we're in the NHL playoffs. My team's gone. 70s is still alive, whatever. Sunday morning, the Bullpen, where I do politics with Little Chad. Comics Division on Monday, Mad's Channel on Tuesday, and then back here Wednesday.
Nice. Jesse?
Yes, come check me out over on the new YouTube channel. Since my last one got nuked, we just crossed 1900, almost a 2K. I am your working poor YouTuber, so come check me out. I'll be live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for another edition of the Morning Prep. I dropped 3 videos today. Go check those out. 3 videos yesterday. It's been like 9 videos over the last couple of days, so go check anything out over there. Got a bunch of cool stuff going on with all of that. Like I said, Christian Ritter's coming back for Daredevil Born Again, and I'm super excited to see Jessica Jones return. Thursday night, we've got for my pre-birthday Eve stream, we'll be going over the very first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, because there's only one Blade, motherfucker. So we'll be going over that tomorrow night, which should be a really good time. And then Friday is the big birthday stream at 11 a.m. Probably be an all-day event. We've got a bunch of special guests. Culture Casino is going to be there, plus a whole bunch of other people. We're going to have John from the Nefarious movie come back as well, and a whole load of other people that all the friends we've made along the way. And, of course, all the fabulous folks here on the panel are obviously invited, and I'm sure Camelot's busier. I'd invite him,
you
too.
Said special guests and then listed Culture Casino as the named one.
Hey, man, it's Cuddles. Well, Cuddles is the only one I've got confirmed that he's, like, talking about it on his stream. Like, he's threatened to do horrible things when he shows up on my stream for my birthday, so you might want to show up just to see what happens with all of that. But yeah, that'll be a good time, so come hang out with me on that. It'll be a lot of fun. And then Friday night, Comic Shop Talk, and then Saturday night, When Who Was Good with Sunker Maiden and I, reviewing all of that kind of stuff. She's my co-host for Thursday night show as well. And then Sunday, Bible study, 2 p.m., and then back at it again. And hopefully, and Saturday afternoon before Doctor Who, I'll probably be playing Rogue Trader all day long, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader all day long, just because it's my birthday and that's what I'm gonna fucking do. And then Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. morning prep. So yeah, there you go. That's it all the time.
Guys, I will be doing stuff here and there. Just keep an eye out. Make sure the notifications are on for when I go live. You get notified, because I'll just be at random times. I've been playing some CSGO on Twitch a little bit. If you want to see me be really bad, you can watch it there. Additionally, I've been just kind of chilling, talking. Follow me if you guys happen to be. I know not a lot of people here are, but if you happen to be on TikTok, follow me on there at the Shagsworth. I do some movie stuff over there. I talk about reviews. I occasionally get into discussions. I've been going live on there as well, just talking to people. I did an hour and a half stream last night. Did really good. It was a lot of fun. It went off the rails. It was the wildest conversation. And I had to literally stop it and mute people. It was nuts. People were just insane. But yeah, man, I appreciate everyone. I appreciate the understanding. Lots of big things happening. Like I said, this show will be ending come mid-June, as I need to make preparations for my big family move to the beautiful island of Hawaii come July and August. So bear with me. I hope you guys will continue to enjoy my content and all these beautiful people's content. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next week right here, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
But seriously, congratulations on.
Thank you.
I mean, that's huge, and I don't think Camelot liked my joke.
He's still lurking. He's laughing. He's laughing and fapping.
He's still.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.
Boys and girls.
I like to put stuff online.